But yeah, so after seeing some spooky shit, trademark, you guys are now finally in the Las Vegas Strip. And to say the place is crowded would be an understatement. It is bustling. There are bright lights everywhere. There are these massive signs outside of every casino, advertising talent performing there. It is just the hustle and bustle of the day, of the night that is just bright, dazzling, and just everywhere, no matter where you go. And of course, there are also the big casinos further down the strip. There's Caesar's Palace, there's the Flamingo, the Tropicana, and also the Sahara, which I believe Gerald was able to
Yes, I have a
do.
note. I have a note
Yes.
to check that out as a tailoring address, right?
Yes. Um, Also, I feel like the ghoul that you guys interrogated could have possibly seen the guy that stole Sawyer away, the Mr. Galt that was after him. Um, so I'd say, let's say that he gave you like a vague description. He said that Mr. Galt has a scar down the side of his face.
Scarred side. I do recall Gerald asking him about the guy, so
Yeah, yeah.
like I'm pretty sure he did. Ask him a physical description. So I
Mhm.
think it's easy enough to like flavor him that he did say something.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it the other day, and I was just like, oh, wait a second, they don't have a description of the guy.
Yeah, Gerald did ask him, but he
Mhm.
he had said, "Oh, I don't know what he looks like," but just say that he did.
Mhm. But yeah, so Mr. Galt has a scar down the side of his face. Um, so you've got all of Las Vegas to explore. Where would you guys like to go? Are you guys gonna head straight for the Sahara, or are you gonna bunker down for a little bit?
I feel that we were gonna go straight for the Sahara because we've wasted enough time.
Yeah, what time is it currently?
Um, I do not remember. Um, my first thought wants to say somewhere around like 10 o'clock or 10:30, so like I'd say pretty close to midnight.
Okay, so we still got some night left.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd definitely say the Sahara.
Okay. All right. And as you kind of cruise down the boulevard, heading probably as fast as you can to the Sahara, um, you every once in a while you do know it. It feels like basically that you're being watched. Every once in a while, you'll have a police cruiser that kind of follows you for a few blocks before turning away. Um, there's, every once in a while you see somebody, looking at your car and watching as you drive past. Um, and just this kind of unsettling feeling like you're being closely watched. You guys do know that the Camarilla is a very strong presence in Las Vegas. It's the city is basically a Camarilla stronghold.
Mm.
And when you reach the Sahara, it is it's it's a very busy, big casino. Um, it's it's like a just like any casino here. It's more or less a fortress. There's security guards posted around the building and the property. There's cameras everywhere, and you can see that that there's these metal gates set up to drop in front of all the entrances and exits if something were to happen. And it's the security is really tight, but it's also really busy.
So this place is huge, right? You said?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Gerald's gonna look around for any sign of like a tailoring shop within this casino.
Okay. Give me just 1 second. Okay, from what I can tell, so there's not a tailoring shop in the casino, but there are tailoring shops nearby.
All
So
right.
you definitely would have.
Anything that matches what we're looking for?
I'd say so, yeah. So there's this fancy schmancy tailoring shop, kind of not far away from the Sahara casino itself. It looks very high class, like super expensive suits.
Gerald's actually gonna head up to a security guard there and show him the cloth note that he has. That seems like it came off the suit.
Okay.
Hey, Jabroni, you recognize this tailoring by chance?
And the guard is kind of looking at you like, oh, what? Like, why the fuck are you talking to me? And then he looks at like the cloth like note, the torn pocket, and he just kind of shrugs and he says, I don't know, looks like some fancy, overpriced, expensive shit. There's all kinds of tailors like that around here.
Yeah, you've been a great help. Thanks a lot, Chief.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Go back to Carolina. I mean, so what do? Do we split up here? And what's the plan? How are we gonna track down this proper fancy place?
And Carolina's been quiet. Thomas, you might want to mute.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'll mute.
Carolina, she's been quiet. Kind of taking in the fact that she knows that they're being watched. She knows that this is Camarilla territory. She's already put on the Mask of 1,000 Faces. And she kind of looks like just your standard housewife right now. Maybe like dolled up housewife. And she says splitting up is probably not the best option.
Right.
We're being watched.
Yeah, I thought I felt some eyes on us out there. Well, what's the deal with that?
And she's gonna look around again. Is anybody looking at them right now?
Not right now per se, but I'm assuming you guys are kind of hanging out in the parking lot right now, right?
Yeah.
So you do, kind of taking a good look around, you do see a few of the security cameras like there's a security camera that's focused on your car specifically.
Carolina's gonna fucking do a power move, and she's going to just stare at the camera for a solid like 10 seconds.
Okay, it's not turning away. It's just like a staring match between the two, you and this camera.
She's not blinking.
Okay.
Gerald will look at the camera, look at her, and be like, "Well, maybe it's a coincidence. Let's walk over here and see if it slides. You know."
Good idea.
So you're gonna.
And she's gonna kind of take on the role of that dolled up housewife and gently take his arm, like they're together, and just enjoying the night in Vegas.
In this parking lot.
Yeah, in this parking lot.
Yeah.
Ethan will remember that.
Well, she looks a little older. She could be his mom.
Oh yeah.
So Gerald's with some what's it called?
Fucking MILF.
No, what's the other word? For like the cat animal.
Cougar.
A cougar. Yeah, he's with the cougar right now.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so yeah, he'll take her arm as well and go with her off to the side to see if the camera follows.
So are you guys kind of gonna try to walk out of the range of vision of this camera, or are you kind of staying within its range?
We're walking out of range to see if it slides.
Okay.
Like see if it pans and follows
Oh,
them.
yeah. So it does follow you, but as soon as you kind of walk out of its range, another camera starts following you.
Yeah, we're definitely being watched. That is no gripes about that one there. So what's the deal here?
Let's go to the casino.
Into the casino with the cameras?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. All right. We're gonna like, you know what? I'm following you, Toots. Should I call you Toots with this getup? Are we together? Is this the thing?
And she's gonna kind of sit there and like just look at you for a second, and then look to Ethan, and then look back at you, and she's gonna say, "Sure."
Right. All right, Toots. Looking fire tonight. Yeah, nice to finally get a night out.
All right. Yeah. So as you guys go into the casino, there's gambling, there's drinking at the bars. It's packed tonight, and you see you'll see small time celebrities with like a whole bunch of women wearing like a bunch of makeup as they're drinking and eating food. You'll even pass by a few people that gambled a little bit too much and are trying to sell their watches, and even pass by one or two married couples in a booth, laughing about how wondering if they'll get a divorce after they sober up. And it's just a whole bunch of alcohol, lots of food, gambling. It's just this big party 24/7. Are you guys gonna what are you guys planning to do? Are you gonna try to scope the place out, see if you noticed anything out of the ordinary, or
I think the first thing Gerald's gonna do is try to match the environment and kind of start chuckling around a bit, give one of those perked eyebrow looks to the other married couple. Hey, you guys got a night out too? Yeah, love the slots. That's why I'm here. Yeah.
And Carolina's gonna kind of just she looks like she's face palming without face palming, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She just looks tired. But at the same time, she's trying to keep a lookout for this person with the scar on their face.
Okay. So after a few minutes of being inside the casino and kind of just walking around to scope the place out, you do see there's, towards the back, there are these two large buff security guards and this kind of back door entrance. And the door opens into this hallway, and you see this well-dressed, kind of dark suit and tie, man come out, and he has this scar down one side of his face, like somebody like slashed him across the face at some point. And looks like he's looking over his shoulder, talking to somebody.
And Carolina's gonna very quietly gesture to him, like not like point and laugh at the fool type gesture, but like kind of tilt her head and clear her throat. That way, Gerald can see him.
Gerald will notice him and notice it matches the description. Are there any like blackjack tables or anything near that hallway, Thomas?
Oh, there's I'd say there's a little bit of everything. This hallway is kind of away from, I'd say away from any gambling tables. But Ethan also definitely notices the guy, and he kind of, maybe for the first time in a while, he kind of speaks up and he says, I can make a distraction.
And Carolina's gonna look at Ethan and say, "You're going to put yourself in danger."
Well, this Sawyer person is probably behind whatever's behind. It's probably behind those doors. I can make a distraction so that the security is distracted and get you through.
And she's going to kind of weigh her options, and she doesn't like the idea, of course, but she's going to nod and agree, and she's going to take his face in her hands, her cold, cold hands, pull him down and give a big ol' mommy smooch to his forehead and just say, "Be safe."
That's my boy. That's the offspring. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Proud of you, son.
And Ethan's going to nod, and he splits off from you guys about for a few minutes, and as you watch, there's Mrs. Galt with the scar down the side of his face, as he says something to somebody, and then starts leaving towards the front of the casino. And it's after he leaves the premises that Ethan kind of shouts something like, "That's my wife, you son of a bitch!" grabs a bar stool and just slams it into some poor random guy, having a drink at the bar. And there's shouts, there's a scream, and just all the security guards start kind of just honing in on the disruption. And that gives you your opportunity to slip into that hallway.
I really thought he was gonna streak or something. I didn't think he was quite gonna slam a bar stool into that guy's back. I'll tell you what, the apple doesn't fall far. Let's get in that hallway. Yeah, he'll make his way to the hallway.
Okay. Yeah, and as the two of you go into this hallway and close the doors behind you, on the far end, there's what looks like a sort of a loading bay, and there are these boxes with like napkins and plates and cups and stuff stacked all along the hallway. And there's 3 other doors down this hall, too.
And did we see where Mr. Galt went off to at all?
He's left the casino. He was
Oh,
he was
okay.
leaving this hallway and going out the front of the casino where you guys came in.
Okay. And there's 3 doors?
Yeah, there's 3 doors, and then there's also a loading bay door as well.
I mean, I guess they should try one of the doors, see if it's they'll try one of them, see if it's locked.
Okay. Yeah, it's unlocked, and when you open it, you see that it is it's just a supply room that's stacked with all kinds of different dining supplies, cups, napkins, toiletries, stuff like that. And then
Anything boxed or anything? Is it all presented?
I'd say it's all boxed up.
Yeah, so he would definitely check some of the boxes and like move a couple things around to see if there's anything out of place.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem to be anything out of place. It's just an ordinary storage room or supply closet.
There were other doors though we could
Yeah.
try, right?
So
I think Carolina's gonna try one of the other ones
okay.
once she realizes this one's a dud.
Okay. So you open the door and it opens into a bathroom.
Oh, the demon's in the bathroom?
Demons in the bathroom.
Demon's using the bathroom?
Yeah, and then
Oh!
and then the last door, it's there's a small plaque that says break room, and you do hear some very faint chatting behind there.
And
Would Carolina have seen what the workers here wear? Like, like a housekeeper or a security guard or something like that.
I'd say definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she'd probably take on the appearance of a housekeeper,
Okay.
assuming no one's watching and there's no cameras here.
I'd say yeah. There's no cameras here.
Alright.
There's all the security in like the main casino and the front, and as well as like around the outside. But this hallway doesn't seem to have any like clear signs of security cameras or anything like that.
Okay, so yeah, she's gonna do a quick change so that she looks like a very young housekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Like, kind of like almost a teenager. But, could be taken as like a young woman.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna step inside.
Okay, and what you see is like the standard employee break room. It's this large room that has a fridge, there's a vending machine, 2 leather sofas, there's a table and a few chairs. And you see 2 of these guys are playing cards, passing the time. They're dressed up pretty formally too. And then you see this third person who looks like absolute shit. His hair is filthy. There's specks of like some kind of debris. His clothes, which are these blue jeans and a corduroy shirt, are torn and covered in stains. There's fabric that's right over his chest, his heart, that's just stained with blood, and there's this massive hole where you assume a stake must have been. And there's one woman passed out on the couch. The guy that's really roughed up is in the middle of biting into the wrist of another. And when you open the door, these guys weren't expecting anybody to come in. So you open the door and they all look at you, and one of the guys playing cards is like, "Who the fuck are you? You're not supposed to be in here."
And Carolina, she's gonna look at the scene and she's going to take on the "I'm new here" thing, and she's like, I'm so sorry. It's my first day. And she's like, yeah, I was told that I could go on break. And she's gonna act really confused because
Hmm.
it's all just like it's not a complete lie.
Yeah.
And she's gonna close the door behind her, and she says, is everything all right? And her voice is gonna kind of crack a little bit.
Okay. Um, Gerald, what are you doing during all of this? Oh,
I assume he's I think he's out in the hallway, kind of.
And like she's trying to give hints that this is the room, so that's why she asked that like kind of loud, like, is everything all right?
All right. So in
But her voice is so sweet and soft.
there happened to be like like any the yellow mop thing.
oh,
Alright?
okay, yeah. Like a mop bucket?
Yeah. So he's gonna find the mop bucket in the bathroom and he's gonna look around for any kind of like janitorial clothes, like the
Okay.
hat.
I mean,
Or like one of those like safety vests.
Yeah, like something a janitor might wear.
okay. I mean, you are wearing overalls.
That's
but-
true. He already kind of looks the part.
Yeah.
So he's gonna kind of whistle a tune, swing open the door as he's like mopping around. Yeah, I'll tell you, these floors, huh? Fucking things are never getting clean. Hey, we'll sweep everything all day. New dust tomorrow. God, they don't pay me enough around here.
Alright, so now both of the guys playing cards are like they stand up and they're like, no, nobody else is supposed to be back here. Get out.
Oh, I'm the new janitor here. What's going on?
And Carolina, she's going to look at the scene and she's just gonna say, I am going to school for being a nurse. Do you need help?
Yeah, and these floors ain't gonna clean themselves, Chiefs.
Yeah,
Come
and the two guys are not having it. Like, yo, get out. And yeah, they're like, get out before we call security.
And then Carolina is going to drop the guys and she's gonna charge them.
Okay. Alright, so you definitely have the element of surprise. Are you going to try to deal any damage, or what's...
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She's gonna fucking wreck these guys' shop.
Okay. Alright, so you know what, go ahead, roll, go ahead and roll Brawl and Strength for damage, which...
So
y-
1.
1, so roll 1d10. And are you using any weapons or anything?
God, does she have a weapon?
Does she?
I feel like she'd have whatever the Sabat and like the what's his name? The
Zeta?
yeah, Zeta. Whatever he would have given her, like if it was like a steak
I
or
don't remember if... I think he gave you... I don't remember if he gave you guys weapons. I think he gave you... I think he...
He didn't give Gerald anything. I don't think.
yeah. I haven't been taking notes for once in my life, so.
Oh, I don't think he offered to give you guys anything.
All right. Well, I feel like she would have at least a knife on her.
Okay.
One of those cute little like the garter knives.
Like a stiletto or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she just pull that out and just charge him.
Okay. Alright. Give me a second as I quickly search up like the weapons for...
Yeah.
for...
Do I have time to get my clothes out of the dryer?
Oh yeah, for
Go
sure.
for it.
Alright.
On that note, I'm going to switch out my load as well.
Alright, time to pause the recording.
Oh, fuck.
Alright, so now we're back. Alright, so it says here for a knife, it's your strength +1. So, I'm just gonna say you do a minimum of 1 damage. So, just gotta roll and succeed.
It's a success.
Oh, that's a success. Uh, so you just draw out this knife and stab this guy?
What she's gonna try and do is kind of swing it so that she just severs this guy's fucking throat.
Oh my god. Okay.
Like jugular, windpipe,
Okay.
the whole shooting match.
Alright. Okay. Alright, yeah. So let's go with that. So you go into a tackle to swipe this guy across the neck with your knife. And that's when you realize he is not human. And so he catches the hit with the knife, and you knock him backwards, and you knock him backwards into the couch. Sawyer is immediately getting up and trying to leave for the one door where Gerald is.
Yeah, because she's making a beeline. What she was trying to do
Uh-huh.
is basically do the swipe to push him back and then keep going.
Oh, okay.
And use that inertia to just grab him.
Okay. Okay.
And maybe use the knife as like a stake.
A stake? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So that's...
Would that be 2 attacks then?
Do you want to use your celerity?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so go ahead and burn a blood point. And then that's going to be multiple steps. Go ahead and roll 3d10 for your dexterity. Okay, so it's 1 success. So I'm gonna say you do it because these guys weren't expecting anything.
Okay.
Thank
Thank God.
And actually a 9 does beat the standard difficulty for staking somebody. So you catch this guy across the throat, you knock him back, and he's like holding his neck as he's like trying to speak, but it's like gurgling up blood. And the woman that Sawyer was feeding on is just kind of like sleepily passed out. Like she just rolls off the back of the couch as everything starts.
Me.
And behind the couch as everything starts. And Sawyer tries to get up, but you push him down by the shoulder and just jab the knife into his chest. And then he goes limp. Like a dead body.
Mission success.
Gerald, what would you like to do?
So there's 2 guys, right?
Yes, there's 2 guys.
And Carolina is doing this all to the Sawyer guy?
She attacked one of them to like kind of make space for herself as she was running past, and then she attacked Sawyer. So right now she's on top of Sawyer, and then there's one guy that's holding his neck and bleeding, and the other guy hasn't moved yet. If that makes sense.
Gerald's gonna grab the mop, which is still in his hand, and try to ram the wooden end into the guy's mouth that got slashed.
Okay. I'm gonna have that be a successful hit because these guys.
That's rad as fuck.
Yeah, because these guys weren't expecting it, so you guys have the advantage. So go ahead, roll strength and melee. So that's gonna be 7d10. And then we're going to add 2 successes onto the result. So I'm going to have the mop count as a club.
The 3 successes?
So 3... 3, and then plus 2. So that's gonna be 5. Yeah, so 5. Okay. Alright, yeah, so you gonna deal like 5 points of damage on this guy as he's holding his hand to his neck, and then you just jam the mop into his mouth, and you can feel the teeth and his jaw just snap and crack as you break bones. And you knock his teeth out, too.
And when he's done with that, he'll say, "Clean up in the back room."
Alright, so these guys, they don't have a lot in, let's see, in fighting power. Alright, so one of them...
So anyway, their baby.
Their baby. Alright, so one of them is gonna try to, the guy that you shoved a mop down his mouth, is flailing, and he's gonna try to like punch and push you off. So so Gerald, make a 3d10 stamina roll for me.
4 successes.
All right. So yeah, so he's trying to wail on you, trying to get you off of him, but you're brushing it off like it's nothing and just shoving this mop down his throat. The other guy is gonna go for Carolina, and let's see. And he's gonna pull out his... He's gonna pull out his gun.
Oh shit! A gun!
And that is
Too bad he can't shoot.
2 critical failures. Yeah,
Shoot
so he doesn't get any
die.
successes. So he, like, as you're leaping at Sawyer, he pulls out his gun, tries to fire off a few shots, but misses as you stake Sawyer. And then, so Carolina, what would you like to do? It's now your turn.
Sawyer's not going anywhere.
He is not. Yeah, he is not going anywhere.
He is not
He is
going
not
anywhere.
going anywhere.
And so she's going to turn at the guy who shot at her, and she's going to lunge at him again.
Okay.
And she's going to take a chomp.
Gonna take a chomp.
A chomp.
Chomp. Okay.
She's just going to fucking cling onto him like a fucking koala.
Okay.
And just chomp.
Chomp. Okay. All right. So go ahead and make a 3d10 dexterity to hit. All right. So that's two crits. Okay. So he doesn't even have enough physical points in anything to fight that. So that's an automatic success.
Boy howdy.
So you're just gonna drink him dry?
Gonna drink him dry.
Okay.
Can she get him? I forget what the term is.
Diablerie?
Yes.
These guys.
What does that take a bit?
So it's gonna take. It would take a while. He fired off some gunshots, so human security is gonna.
Yeah, she's just gonna drink him until he can't move, and then she's gonna grab Sawyer and they're gonna scoop.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, and I was gonna say these guys are a higher generation than you guys, so even if you did deoblerize them, you wouldn't get anything from it. So yeah, so you drink this guy dry, and he just falls into torpor, just crumples to the ground like a dead body. As you finish him up, and then you grab Sawyer, and you're heading out the door. All right.
Yep, she's gonna look at Gerald and just say, "We need to go now."
All right, Gerald. What would you like to do?
How's this dude doing with the mop? Is he dead?
Do you want to? Yeah, let's say you finish him off. Like he's fighting against the mop, but then eventually you push the mop down hard enough where it like breaks into the back of like his skull and like snaps the spine. And then yeah, you kill him for good as like the spine snaps from the force that you're pushing the mop down with, and you start to see like his body like rapidly decay, and that's when you know you got him good and it's time to go.
So when he's done, he'll pull the mop out and mop up some of the blood around his head and say, "I'm putting in my 2 weeks." And then he'll leave.
All right.
Joe, I love you.
All right. So you guys burst into the hallway. You already see a few security guards down the hall from where you came in, and they're running towards you, saying like, "Hey, stop!" And then you see on the other side of you, there's the loading bay that I mentioned earlier.
And lo, she's running.
Okay. All right, so
She is not hesitating.
yeah.
She's fast as fuck, boy.
All right, yeah, and you have celerity for like the rest of the scene too. So you're zipping down the hallway, and the loading bay door is easily opened from the inside. So you just heft it up, and you're out there in the back of the casino.
She's going to the car.
Going for the car? Okay.
Sorry, Gerald. She's gone.
Yeah, Gerald's just running at a normal pace.
All right. All right, so Carolina, you reach the car first.
She's throwing him in the trunk.
Throwing him in the trunk. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna drive back for Gerald?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's gonna drive back for him and Ethan. I'm assuming Ethan just got thrown out.
I'd say
'Cause
Ethan.
That's kind of the protocol with disruptions like that in casinos.
Yeah, I'd say Ethan got roughed up and tossed out, and I'd say he's actually in the car waiting for you. And when he hears the gunshots and sees you come out from the back of the building, he's already going in reverse for you to throw Sawyer in the trunk and hop in the car.
And she's doing it.
All right, and then he backs up sharp in reverse again for Gerald to get in, and then he's just gonna book it.
Good boy.
All right, and so I'm gonna roll for Ethan's driving.
Oh God.
He does not.
Yeah.
He does
Gerald knew right away it was a bad idea. This guy driving.
So it is a bad time. So I'm gonna say. So it's not long before you guys have the cops chasing after you, and it's a rough ride as Ethan is swerving through traffic. There's actually maybe once or twice that he manages to get a police car to drive into a civilian vehicle, but he's driving over sidewalks. He's almost run over a few people. It's a chaotic scene as he's going down the boulevard, and the cops still pursue even after you guys leave the city. And then, along with the cops, you see, zooming up, not far behind, are these vans going just as fast, if not faster, than the police cars themselves. And they're starting to catch up parallel with you guys. I'm going to do another drive roll. Alright, so he does a little bit better. So Ethan slams on the gas as you guys are zooming down the interstate. And one of these mysterious vans pulls up parallel with you guys, and a back door opens up, and you see somebody climb up onto the roof of the car, and then their hand suddenly bursts into fire, and they leap across onto your car, and you hear a thud as somebody lands on top.
Carolina's just gonna say break.
Alright, and
As in, it's not like really, she's not just saying break, she's demanding him to break.
okay.
Very refined.
Alright, and so Ethan is gonna break, and alright, so he breaks, and whoever lands on top of your car just is knocked forward with the momentum and is sent spinning across the ground. It's this, other well-dressed, dressed up in a suit person, and you don't even get to see what they look like before Ethan just runs them over with the car.
Good boy.
And it's this long, straight, narrow chase as you're just zooming down the desert highway. And what are you guys doing? What are you guys going to do? Anything?
Do we have? I'm assuming Ethan has his gun, right?
Oh yeah.
So, Carolina, she's going to look at Gerald and she's gonna say, "Can you shoot a gun?"
I know how to shoot. I'm not the best, but yeah, I've shot a gun.
Get them off of us.
The cops?
All of them.
Well, all right. I'll do what I can here. Hold on. He's gonna roll down the window and lean out
Okay.
and look over to Ethan. Hey, watch the frickin' driving, all right? Don't make me look like old Abraham over there.
Yeah, and Ethan's like, I'll try. And as another dark van starts to catch up, you see the police, as you drive further away from the city, they start to slowly pull back. And now it's these two vans that are trying to get on both sides of you. There's one on the right side, and there's another kind of to the back and a little bit to the left.
I was gonna say, wait until they're both on the side of them and then just break again. And then Carolina's gonna grab Gerald's shirt so that he doesn't go flying out the window.
Wouldn't want a repeat of last time.
Yep.
Alright, so the vans get kind of parallel, and a side door on both vans opens up, and it's basically both vans have somebody with a just automatic rifle, and Ethan breaks just in time. Let me do a drive roll for him. Yeah, he breaks just in time. Flying colors roll as guns start shooting and they start firing into each other. And in moments, you realize they weren't using ordinary bullets, as you see small explosions and then both vans just go up in flames.
Whack.
Huh.
Wig. Anyway, keep driving, boo boo.
Yep, and then Ethan's gonna hit the gas again. Driving down the highway as fast as he can back to Los Angeles. And you guys are in the clear for now.
Hey, not too bad driving there, Ethan. Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
And Carolina's gonna be like kind of grabbing his shoulder and kind of shaking him and like, you know, congratulations. She's just gonna be like, good job, good job.
Yeah, you see Ethan's all like roughed up. He probably has like a black eye that's starting to form or bruise. And he's just like, yeah, thanks. Thank you. And he's proud of himself too. And it's probably towards the end of the night when you finally get back to Bishop Zeta's junkyard. And when you guys show up in, I think the car's a Mazda? Yeah, the car's a Mazda. And you show up in the car, and you show him, well, you show up in the car, and how do you guys want to do this?
Carolina's gonna carry him in.
Okay.
Fucking firefighter style.
Okay.
And then she's just gonna throw him onto the floor.
Alright. So yeah, you see, Zeta at his desk, and there's...
Like, no introduction. Just basically kick the door in, walk in with this motherfucker, and throw him onto the floor.
Alright. So yeah, you just show up, you throw the body on the floor, there's Zeta, and then there's a few other people you don't remember, you don't recognize, but you assume they're part of Zeta's pack. And Zeta just has the biggest grin on his face. He's like, holy fucking shit, hell fucking yeah. Oh yeah! And he is just ecstatic, and he is just like, hell fucking yeah, I knew you bastards could do it. Holy fucking shit. Hell yeah.
Ain't damn right. I can hire the right people. What can I say? Get it done.
And you sure fucking did. Holy shit. And to think I fucking doubted you guys.
Wait, you just said you knew we were gonna do it. You know, bring some cold cores over here, alright? We're gonna celebrate the right way, right? I mean, what the hell?
Oh yeah, we gotta celebrate the right way. And, he picks up Sawyer by, like, the foot and starts dragging him out of the trailer. And he says, yeah, we're gonna have a big fucking party. Two of you two, go round up some people. We're gonna have a fucking party tonight.
And the only friend that he can really call is Matthias, his gangrel buddy. It's like his only. I guess I'll call up Matthias. Yeah, he likes a good time.
Yeah, and Zeta's like, no, round up some kind, get some humans, bring them here. We're gonna have a fucking party.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, yeah, and so yeah, it doesn't take you guys long to drive into Los Angeles. Or, was it Los Angeles? Yeah, Los Angeles, and find some people looking for a good time. So if I remember right, you guys have like, was it $20,000?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah.
Left over.
So it's no small expense to, round up, round up a dozen people, probably get like a whole bunch of alcohol, probably
And drugs.
And drugs, yeah, definitely drugs.
Yeah, cocaine and women willing to snort the cocaine. That is Gerald's biggest concern.
All right. So are you guys gonna look for mostly women, or are you gonna do a mix of like?
A mix of both.
A mix, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So find a good mix of about a dozen men and women. You get a whole bunch of alcohol, some drugs. You guys are like, yeah, and the humans.
I feel like Carolina would probably stay at the house because she went through all this fucking trouble to catch this guy. She's gonna want to keep her heel on his fucking throat
Okay.
until it's time,
Okay.
And plus it saves us a spot in the car. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
a spot in the car for a future whore.
Okay.
A lemon stealing whore.
Oh my god. But yeah, so Gerald goes out, rounds up a bunch of people. 2 or 3 people also bring their own cars, and that's packed with people, and it's a full blown party that gets started. And Carolina, while you're waiting for Gerald to get back, you see Zeta drag Sawyer off into this bunker that's kind of towards the back of the junkyard. You see him kind of drag him into this bunker.
She's gonna follow.
Okay.
Hands behind her back, very refined.
Okay.
Just observing.
Yeah, and Zeta drags Sawyer down into this bunker, and it's this kind of well-isolated concrete bunker. And you watch as he starts like stringing Sawyer up, and he even makes sure to yank the knife out of his chest.
She's gonna take her knife back.
Okay.
Quick clean it off on the guy's own clothes and then just pocket it back.
Yeah, and Zeta gets like a few meat hooks and strings Sawyer up on those, and pulls out his hatchet and chops the guy's fingers off. And while he's doing this, he's like just kind of like talking to himself, and he's just like, yeah, we're gonna have a fucking party. None of your hocus pocus. And like you can see he's enjoying this, and he's even roughing up Sawyer a bit already, chopping off his fingers, just straight through the bone. And Sawyer's obviously not having a good time.
He is not vibing.
Yeah. And and Zeta even, looks over his shoulder at you, and he's like, no more hocus pocus for this motherfucker.
Why not keep him staked?
I want him to feel it.
He will, but at least for the duration of the party, keep him staying.
All right, fine.
And she's gonna, touch Zeta's shoulder, and she's just gonna say, "That way you can enjoy yourself without worrying about your prisoner escaping." And it's a very soft, smooth, reassuring tone. That way he'll stay alive as long as you want to play with him.
Yeah, you've got a point there. And yeah, and Zeta's gonna stake him again. And he's gonna be like, yeah, let's get ready for that fucking party. And you see that Zeta's pack members, it's about like 3 or 4 other K-Knights, and they have already started making preparations. Like they've set up like this big bonfire pit, and it kind of looks like they've even set up the junkyard to kind of be like almost like a maze. And by the time preparations are done, Gerald's arrived with like this small caravan of
Hookers and blow.
yeah, hookers, blow, and just people looking for a good time. And yeah, it's about like a carload or 2 or 3, and Zeta and his gang are very welcoming to these new people. They start cranking up the music. They hand out, the booze and the drugs, and when the party starts getting to full swing, Zeta kind of motions Gerald over, and he's like, "Hey, come and see this."
Okay. He'll come take a peek.
Yeah, and Zeta leads Gerald to the bunker, and I'm guessing Carolina's also there too.
Yep, she's just observing.
Okay.
Kind of just like slowly like looking at this guy, like trying to figure out like what makes him tick. Because she's not Camarilla, so
Oh yeah.
she doesn't know all of the magic and all of that stuff. So she's trying to logically kind of pick it apart as best she can from just looking.
Okay. So are you observing Zeta, or are you observing Sawyer?
Sawyer.
Okay. Yeah. So
her hands are behind her back. She's seeing where he's strung up from the ceiling, and she's just kind of like circling him like a shark.
okay. Yeah. So
Think of it like an armed guard,
okay.
just in case. Because if he caused this much trouble, you got to keep an eye on him.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, so Zeta leads you down into this bunker, Gerald, and he's hidden this bunker pretty well with his own powers. It's basically kind of like cloaks it in a shadow so that nobody else can see it, and it's pretty far deep underground. And that's when you see Sawyer, hung up by meat hooks. The fingers have been cut almost clean off of his hands, and you can see the little meaty digits kind of just on the floor. And Sawyer has definitely looks worse for wear, and Zeta pulls out the stake, and he's like, Zeta's going on about like all the awesome shit that you guys did, dodging cars and the police and the crazy escape from Las Vegas that I'm assuming you've told him about during this time.
Yeah. She would have given him kind of the TLDR.
Yeah, and
So this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and now we're here.
yeah, and Zeta is just hyped up and ready, and he's just like, fuck, with you two here, we could fucking take Los Angeles, we could take San Francisco. Shit, this is awesome. This is just what we needed to get a good fucking foothold in California, guys. And while he's doing that, he's also beating the shit out of Sawyer. And, you know, you can hear, like...
And Sawyer is conscious now, like he's not staked.
Yeah, he's conscious now. And...
Carolina, she's actually going to pause. She's going to hold her hand up, kind of place it on Zeta's chest, and she's going to say, why not interrogate him? Now is the time for it. Find out all we can while he's helpless.
And before you stop him, he does like a punch that like caves in the guy's rib cage, and you hear like the cracks as Sawyer just sobs miserably in pain. And Zeta pauses at your words, and he stops to think,
and she's just gonna, you know, she's really that soft, soothing voice.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna say, have patience. Rome was not won in a day.
Yeah, and Zeta's like, no, let's fucking party first.
And she's just gonna smile, that kind of toothy, like ugly Nosferatu smile, because she doesn't have the veil on.
Oh yeah.
And she's just gonna smile at him and just say, good man.
Yeah, so he's but yeah, he's gonna let Sawyer hang there because the guy's not going anywhere. And
she's gonna stake him again just to be safe.
Okay. Yeah, so Zeta's on his way out, and so you go ahead and stake him just in case.
And before she does, she's gonna kind of cup Sawyer's cheek and just say, it'll all be over soon. And then stake. It'll all be over soon. Stay here. Kind of place a really disturbing kiss on his bloodied up cheek, and then just stake him.
Okay.
And go back to the party.
Alright.
Charles just gonna watch this and be like, right. Well, let's get some coke and some bimbos, right? I mean, let's now that this is done.
Gerald and Carolina being just fucking brutal, and Gerald's just like, yeah, let's get some drugs.
Hey, she's from the Middle Ages.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
from the fucking, you know, she's from the time when people would be tortured for fun.
Oh yeah.
That was, you know, public entertainment was public torture. And so, like, especially it was all sanctified from the Catholic Church. So, you know, this is just a normal Tuesday for her.
I'm curious, since this is a normal Tuesday for Carolina, how's Gerald feeling?
With Gerald, he enjoys just fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Like he obviously doesn't mind killing, but he enjoys the thrill of the challenge and the brawl itself.
Mm-hmm.
So this does nothing for him. He more or less, they've already won in his book.
Oh yeah.
And if he's gonna, if Torch is involved, it's gonna be strictly for information. So just beating the shit out of him, it's lost upon Gerald, but he's not gonna say anything. But
Oh yeah.
if it was up to him, it would be like, okay, we already kicked the shit out of him, we won, let's party and get on with it.
Yeah.
If we need to interrogate him, that's why you beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. And I'd tell you guys,
Which is why Carolina stopped him, is like, she knows that there's a time and a place for torture, but at the same time she gets the novelty
Yeah.
of it.
so I'd say you guys definitely get the vibe that Zeta just loves violence. And
Mother, he craves
And
violence.
just he's the violent kind of Cainite that definitely rose through the ranks of the Sabbat really fast. Since it is basically like it's basically more or less just a mobile army. But yeah, so when you guys go back up to the surface and join the party full swing, It's bopping. There's loud music playing. There's people, snorting cocaine off of the hoods of cars, and maybe each other, and drinking booze. And Zeta and his pack mates are also kind of joining in on the fun. Um, do Gerald and Carolina partake?
Gerald's
Carolina-
definitely partaking.
Yeah, I feel that she. Because that's the thing, she's technically part of a cult that's like no drugs.
Yeah.
Unless it's like part of a holy, essentially a communion.
Yeah.
And so she's just gonna. She might watch.
Hmm.
Unless somebody like actively comes over and offers it to
Okay.
her. Like she'll accept it if something is offered to her, but she's not gonna go out and seek it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and then you see Ethan.
And she's going to allow Ethan to partake as well if he so chooses, because he earned it. He did good.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, and so around when the party is at its peak, that's when Zeta reveals his nature. He just bites into some poor woman's neck, and just in front of everybody, and the party just immediately shifts to good time party in the middle of a junkyard doing drugs and drinking alcohol, to suddenly, holy shit, we need to get the fuck out of here. And that's when the rest of his pack also join in, and they take down a few people before the rest of the humans just kind of scatter into this maze of just dilapidated cars and just junk. And it's clear from the start that the junkyard's been sealed off on all sides, so it's just a big game of cat and mouse.
Gerald will join in on the hunt. He's gonna track down one of the hoes that did coke.
Carolina's probably going to just sit and watch.
Okay.
She's not really part of that whole hunting thing. She prefers her prey coming to her.
Okay.
So she's probably just gonna sit, leg crossed over the other one, very dainty.
Okay.
And yeah, whatever Ethan's doing, he's doing.
When Gerald goes out, he's gonna activate protein, so his eyes are gonna start glowing yellow. And he's gonna look for any cats in the junkyard.
Okay. I'd say as far as Ethan is concerned, like during the whole party, you see that he's kind of a little bit on edge. So I'd say he's probably been to these one or two times. So he doesn't join in on the drugs, but he'll take like a bottle of beer or something. And
if a hoe asks him for dick, he won't say no.
And when the party kind of goes into full swing, he goes into the Mazda and locks the car doors and hides in there. And just kind of ducks behind the seats.
Just so he, isn't mistaken as one of the people.
Yeah. So yeah, there are a few cats.
Cats being women, right?
No, like animal cats.
He's gonna look for one staked up high, and
Okay.
use animalism. So I obviously I gotta use some
okay.
points here.
I thought you meant like cats, as in like pussy.
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
junkyard cats. So I use protein in that, so that's 2 blood points, right?
I think that's just one.
Okay. Well, the animalism too. He's gonna use to talk to the cat.
Oh yeah, so that's gonna be 2 then.
And he's gonna meow 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 meow. He's gonna ask the cat if he's seen any cocos come by and if they're hiding anywhere.
Yeah, and the cat is gonna kind of point out where they are. Just like, oh, over there.
And I'll nod to the cat and be like, I got meow 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 meow. I say I got you on some tuna in a little bit.
Yeah,
and he'll quietly slink over and sneak up to where the cat pointed out.
and you catch two of the humans in the corner. They're spooked and also high off of their minds, so they're freaking out. And you manage to corner them and take them down as you see fit. As if you would
Yes.
like to describe that.
So yeah, he'll get him in the corner there.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we got? 2 females, a male and a female.
I'd say male and a female.
And first thing he'll do is grab the male and smack his head into a hunk of metal to knock him out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look over to the female who's coked up, correct? Yes.
Oh
they're
yeah,
both high.
definitely.
And I'll say, you know, Toots, in a different life we could have had something great. Maybe we could have dated, blew some lines. But as it is, this is my only way to get high now. And first thing he's gonna suck the blood out of the dude in front of her.
And she is screaming her head off. She's like this kind of brunette college student, and she wears glasses, but you see that like one of the lenses has been kind of knocked out, and she's just kind of backed up into the corner against the fence and the trailer, and she's just screaming as you bite into this guy's neck.
And when he's done, he'll toss away the guy's body and look at her and go, "Ah!" like mocking her scream. And he's gonna go up to her, casually pick the glasses off her head, put them on his own face. Like, yeah, you can't see for shit out of these things. And he's gonna grab her and start sucking her dry too.
Okay.
Suck.
With their glasses on.
Yeah, and I'd say Carolina. So while Gerald is doing that, Carolina, you definitely get 1 or 2 people panically running towards you as well during the whole thing, as everybody's kind of secured their own kill zone, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of over, I'd say over by the area where the bunker is, even though the bunker is kind of hidden away.
Yeah. Yeah, she would want to stay close just in case.
Oh yeah.
She just has a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And so people, like, she's relaxed enough where people might think that she's just high.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody comes up to her and tries to, like, get her out of there, she's gonna grab them and chomp.
Okay. Yeah, say like.
But she's not gonna get up and chase.
Okay.
She prefers them to come to her.
Okay. Yeah, it's say you definitely get one person that is like, "What the fuck are you doing? We need to get out of here." And they try to grab you and pull you along, and then that's when you just chomp. And
she's very graceful about it. Like, she's gonna grab them and, like, kind of like one of those old Renaissance paintings. She's just gonna
okay.
like have them in her lap. Like total like power move.
Okay.
Because I'm extra as fuck.
But yeah, I'd say you definitely get 1 or 2 people that way. And then
And of course she's gonna pose them.
Oh yeah.
Kind of toss them aside where they look like they're just passed out.
Oh yeah. And
But they're dead.
yeah, and I'd say most of the humans get chased down by the definitely more active group, which is everybody else but you. um, and then
She's a queen bee. She doesn't work for her food.
and then once the hunting game is over, Zeta and the rest of his pack start grabbing some shovels and gathering up and kind of loading the bodies up into a truck. And Zeta is like hyped up, blood covering his mouth and down his face, and he's obviously really hyped up on the excitement and the celebration. And he's like, let's fucking do this, guys. Let's make some shovel heads and get back and take a shot at those anarchs. And the rest of his pack are all up for it too. They're really hyped up.
Okay.
Does Gerald restore his blood points from sucking the
Oh,
other?
yes.
Suck.
Yes.
Suck. All right, cool.
So yeah, you guys get any blood points back that you might have spent.
Yeah. So once Gerald's done sucking the girl dry, he's gonna get the glasses off and put them back on her corpse,
Mm-hmm.
and like just casually walk back towards the group.
Okay. Yeah, and
Are either of the people that Carolina fed upon, are they like special at all? Are they attractive? Are they anything that would stand out, which would like make her want to potentially sire them?
I'd say they're like kind of like between their like 20s and 30s. So they're like probably like young college kids looking to have a good time. There's a few more middle-aged party people mixed in. I was actually gonna kind of leave it a little vague so that you guys could maybe be like, oh, so and so notices this person, decides to, so,
Carolina's probably, because she has a very strict set of requirements when it comes to potential of siring, and so she's just gonna let all the bodies go.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say there's definitely a few very beautiful people mixed in. Is Carolina gonna participate in any other way?
If she has to leave her post, probably not.
Okay. Gerald, how about you?
I mean, he's there for the party, so once he
Okay.
gets done with those two, he's carrying on whatever the next phase of the party might be.
All right.
Like she might mark one of them, like take a nail and like scratch a cross onto one of their heads, like this one's mine when they turn,
Okay.
if they turn,
Okay.
and then that's it.
All right.
And kind of maybe let one of the pack people know before she kind of sits back
Okay.
and resumes her guard post.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, Zeta and his gang are gonna load up the bodies into a truck, and Zeta's like, "Come on, let's shovel these guys up in the hill over there." And he points out the hill, and everybody's on board, and I'm assuming Gerald is coming along too.
Oh yeah, Gerald's
Yeah.
on board.
Yeah, and but yeah, and Zeta kind of looks over to you, Caroline, and he's like, "Come on, let's go."
And she has a vibe.
She has a feeling, but she's gonna get up and she's going to join them.
Yeah, and
Very dainty.
all right, yeah, and Zeta's like, "Yeah, let's go." And so you guys to drive up into the hills, kind of outside the city, and you just
I thought it was like basically right next door.
it
Because
it's
if,
not
if
too far away.
yeah, if it was like right next door, then she would have gone. But if not,
Okay, yeah, it's kind of like right next door. I mean, you guys are kind of right outside the city, so it's like, yeah, it's basically right next door.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
because she wouldn't want to be far.
Oh yeah, it's not that far. And so, um, I-
Or she could send Ethan and then stay there.
oh yeah, she could do
Because
that.
she's got a vibe.
Yeah,
She's
and
got a feeling that she needs to stay.
yeah,
Because it's you know it's somebody that she staked, that she hunted, that one of her fucking ghouls got injured for.
mm-hmm.
And so now she's taking it personally.
Oh, yeah.
And she wants to make sure this guy gets his dues.
Oh, that.
And so she's going to stay there until he does. She's very old-fashioned that way.
Okay. So you can stay there, or you can have Ethan take your place and stay in your stead. Because this is like,
Vampires only.
yeah, vampires only.
Okay. She'll go then.
Okay. I don't want to make you go if you don't want to. I'm just making sure, because Zeta will have a strong reaction to it depending on what you do.
Okay.
But yeah, so going with them, you guys drive up into the hills, not far away from the junkyard, and start digging basically a 6-foot, about 6, 7, 8 foot deep pit, and Zeta and his 3-4 pack mates start doing their embrace of just people they pick, like almost just by random, just a drop of blood in the mouth, and then as they start turning and waking up, they bash them on the back of the head with a shovel and toss them into the pit. And,
Carolina's gonna take the one that she marked,
mhm,
and she's gonna do it her own little way.
okay.
Kind of step away from the group
Mhm,
and do the embrace.
okay.
But it's very it's not the you know the pit
Mhm,
method. It's she wants to hold them.
okay.
She's very motherly that way.
Okay. So, just off the top of your head, what does this person look like?
It's probably a young lady. She's probably like your like she almost looks like your standard like college cheerleader type, like party girl,
Okay.
which would be like perfect for haha, you're a nun now.
Okay. And,
Because Carolina's really fucked up.
oh yeah. And,
Like the prettiest one she wants.
okay.
Because she knows she's ugly.
Okay.
And she knows any person that she embraces is going to be ugly.
Oh boy, heckin' howdy. Yeah, let's shift the camera over to Gerald, and then we'll get back to your thing.
Okay.
So, Gerald, are you picking anybody in particular, or are you just like grabbing a random person from the pile?
To Sire,
Yeah, Desire.
we'll take the girl with the glasses.
Okay.
You know,
Alright.
they had a nice moment.
A nice intimate moment. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd say it goes to say you've never been to one of these, I guess, occasions before.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like a ceremony. And so you're watching Zeta and his fellow Sabbat Canaanites, embrace people with a drop of blood in the mouth, and then as these people start to wake up, they just bash them over the head with a shovel and throw them into the pit. Are you gonna go ahead and do the same, or are you gonna kind of add your own twist to it?
Seeing as it's his first time here and he thinks that's kind of the way it goes, he's just gonna copy the same format. He'll he'll do the same.
All right. Yeah. So you do the drop of blood into this woman's mouth, and like her body starts to move and reanimate, and she wakes up, and she just looks absolutely confused as she stands up, and then you just bonk her on the back of the head with a shovel and knock her unconscious. And then it's just a simple, pick up and toss into the pit.
Yep. Dump her on in.
All right. And so yeah, I'd say you get a few people in that way. Get probably like 3 or 4 people before the pickings start to get a little slim, and you see Zeta's just really hyped up and pumped up about it, and Carolina, you're kind of off to the side, embracing this one person, watching as all the other bodies are getting embraced and tossed into the pit. And this cheerleader woman, she looks like a college cheerleader. She has like a varsity jacket from the local college. She's got, blonde hair, blue eyes. She's like, pretty city girl. And the embrace for Nosferatu is, I'd say it's kind of more, I imagine as being more drawn out and painful.
Hence why she wants to overlook it.
Yeah, and
She doesn't want her to do that in a fucking pit.
yeah, and you just watch as her body starts to shift and change just painfully, as just bones seem to just like crack and rearrange, and like you feel and hear her spine just distort and bend, and Zeta tosses another body into the pit and notices you with this one person, and he's just like, hey, come on, toss them into the pit.
And she's gonna look at Zeta and just say, I respectfully decline. I like overlooking their transformation. And she's going to gesture to herself and she's going to say, it's easier this way.
And Zeta looks pissed off. And he's just like, stop with the holier than thou shit and toss her into the fucking pit.
Nice rhyme. I'm sorry. And she's going to look at Zeta. And she's going to look back down at this girl who's transforming horrifically on the ground. And she's just going to look back up and say, one of my own got injured hunting your man tonight. I respectfully decline.
Let's do a roll.
Because she's holding her own, because, she's kind of higher up in, like, the Sabbat, essentially, church.
Yeah.
So, she's gonna hold her own. She has her own opinions, and she is set in her ways. She knows that it's not how the Sabbat really do things, but she's kind of her own thing.
Okay.
And she's stubborn just like he is.
Okay. So you know what? Let's make that a manipulation and leadership roll. So 8d10, and it's basically how I'm looking at it is like it's basically two leaders of their own groups essentially butting heads with each other.
I rolled a crit.
I see that. All right. Give me just 1 second.
That's 2, 3, 4, 5,
So 1, 2,
6.
3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Yep, six successes. All right. So I'm gonna have Zeta do a counter roll. What does he have in stats? Well, he has worse charisma than you do by far. Yeah, I'm gonna say you definitely beat him in that roll. Just by looking at his stats, he's not very charismatic. So yeah, and there's this kind of moment of tension as you see him like tense up and ready for a fight. But then he's like, fine.
She's going to nod and say thank you.
And you can definitely see he's not a happy camper about it, but he's just gonna go back to taking
But
care of the rest
she's
of the
gonna be like the epitome of politeness. You know, hands folded, and she nods a little bit, very sagely nod, and she's just gonna say,
Okay. And
"I appreciate it greatly." Mwah.
but yeah, and you watch as this college cheerleader transforms and becomes Nosferatu. How do you want to describe her new look?
She probably just looks like a standard Nosferatu, kind of like her.
Oh yeah.
Like, she probably still has her hair, but she has that angular face. It's kind of been twisted so that she's definitely not pretty anymore.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the pointed ears, all of that.
Okay. All right. And what would you like to do with her?
Probably bring her along, because she's gonna, as soon as this is all over, she's bringing her back to the church
Okay.
to begin training.
Okay. All right. And but yeah, and this newborn Nosferatu is definitely a little dazed and confused, and she kind of looks up at you as she tries to like kind of stand up out of your lap, and she says, what happened? Why do I hurt so much?
Oh, baby.
And Carolina's gonna look almost sad. You know, the compassion is there. And she's gonna say, many things have happened, little one. Many things have happened. But it's okay. You're safe now. I will keep you safe.
Okay. And
her voice is that smooth, soft, sweet, like motherly.
okay.
Like, I cannot stress this enough. Carolina is so motherly.
Okay. Yeah. And you see that your brand new baby Nosferatu.
So anyway, she's baby.
Anyway, she's baby, and she just says, "I'm very hungry."
I'm sure you are, little one. I'm sure you are. Come. Let's go get you something to eat.
Oh my God, poor Ethan.
Ethan is not on the menu.
Oh. All right, and but yeah, Zeta's not gonna stop you if you decide to to leave.
Yeah,
With you.
so she's gonna leave.
Mhm.
I take it all of the bodies were gathered
Oh yeah,
up?
all the bodies were gathered up.
Okay. Um, she's actually gonna let her newfound child, once they kind of get away from everybody and kind of they can sit down
Mhm.
and, you know, have a fucking sit.
Mhm.
She's going to take a nail and cut open her wrist and then offer that,
Okay.
kind of like as the first blood offering.
Okay.
Because that's, you know, all the culty shit
Oh,
that she
yeah.
partakes in.
Yeah.
She wants this little one to be devoted.
Yeah, and so that's gonna definitely establish a blood bond, and the start of her loyalty towards you.
Yep.
And so we're gonna shift the camera back to Gerald, and so Gerald, so I'd say you toss a good, 3 or 4 bodies into the pit, and everybody's having a good time, and you see the little standoff between Zeta and Carolina. How does Gerald feel about that?
He's kind of got like hey, let them hash it out kind of mood going on.
Mm-hmm.
He's still getting into the ins and outs of everything, and he's currently bashing people in the heads with shovels and throwing them in a pit, so he's not one to judge anybody's choices at this point.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, he's definitely at the end of the day probably have Carolina's back, if anything, just because they've been through some shit together. But
Mm-hmm.
he figures with all the good work they've done for Zeta,
Mm-hmm.
a few discrepancies can probably be overlooked in the long run, given that have been successful here, for the most part.
Oh, for sure.
So he thinks with any family or with any function, there's bound to be disputes.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll kind of just take it for what it is, and he has a feeling it'll blow itself over and work its way out on its
Okay.
own.
Yeah, and you see when Zeta kind of pulls away from their little dispute, and Carolina leaves with her newly embraced child. Zeta's not in the best mood about it. He mutters something about, holier than thou bullshit, and just starts filling in the pit. As, the rest of his pack mates also do the same.
Try to look over at Zeta and be like, hey, Bishop, we won, right? We won. We did good. Here's the good times.
Yeah, he says. Yeah, here's the good times. And he tosses a shovel full of dirt into the pit.
Yeah. And Jared will start filling the pit with dirt as well.
Okay. Alright, and then, alright, so panning the camera back to Carolina and her new child. Where do you want to take her?
Just out of earshot,
Oh, yeah.
out of vision of everybody else, like kind of a private little thing.
Okay.
That way this girl can kind of compose herself enough by the time they head back to the junkyard.
Okay.
Training starts now.
Okay. But yeah, you feed her some of your blood. How many blood points do you want to give her?
Maybe 3.
3? Okay. I'd say she's still pretty hungry, but she's holding up herself together.
And she's just gonna, like, caress her face and just say, now you need to be still until we get back home.
And she nods.
And then she's gonna hold her hand, like mom at daughter, hold hand, and then, yeah,
Okay.
they're gonna be ready to go.
Okay. So you guys are heading back to the junkyard?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And
And this is all part of the kind of the indoctrination
Oh, yeah.
that cults have, where it's like everyone else is terrifying, only rely on us.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's part of the reason why she acts the way she does.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and then so as um, the shovelhead ceremony kind of comes to a close, the pit gets filled in, and it's kind of towards, and there's still enough time left in the night, um, where everybody can head back to their respective havens and settle in for the night as these newly embraced vampires dig their way out. So basically, the idea is that you embrace somebody, bash them over the head with a shovel, bury them, and then when they fully come to, they frenzy as they dig their way out, and then they're just set loose on the city. So that's basically a summary of what's going on here.
Nice. Throw them into the fire.
Yeah. And that's how the Sabbat makes a lot of their shock troops. So they'll do that to test us. Huh?
Did I learn the name of my glasses girl?
Oh, give me, you know what? Yeah, so I'm gonna say, actually, you didn't, but you do know what she looks like.
Okay.
So if you do want to see if she makes it out of this alive, you can definitely try to find her.
Yeah, he definitely will.
All right, and then so that's around when everybody starts to go back to their respective havens in Los Angeles. So I don't believe Carolina has a place. Motel? Okay. Unless Gerald offers her a place to stay.
But
Yeah, he always stays at his shop. But yeah, he would definitely extend the invite over to the where he stays.
Okay. Carolina, do you accept?
she will.
Okay.
And the whole time she's going to be instructing this girl how to act, how to move, how to do all of that.
Okay. So
To the point where it's like an information overload.
okay. All right, and she seems to be taking everything well. It's definitely a lot for her to take in such a short time. I'd say when it's a slow process of getting her kind of acclimated, because I'd say she eventually catches a glimpse of herself in the mirror and starts like freaking out, and then it's just a slow process of calming her down and explaining what's happened, and she seems to kind of start clicking by the end of the night.
And by then she probably has already made contact with wherever the church is that she's kind of taken over. She's already made contact with them via a phone call, and they probably have already been sending people out to come get her and bring her back.
Okay. All right. All right. So.
That way they can do the formal training there.
And when you bring this girl back, you definitely see some jealousy in Ethan, but he keeps it to himself. And but yeah, and the night ends without any unexpected complications.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean, Thomas?
Sorry, I said that wrong. The night ends peacefully.
What was with the air quotes?
Because there's a bunch of rabid, feral vampires that are gonna swarm the city.
They're gonna pop out of the ground like
yeah.
daisies.
It's like almost 24 people are gonna be feral vampire monsters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
awesome. Um, but yeah.
Sounds like my kind of Tuesday afternoon.
So is Gerald gonna introduce the new people to his mom?
He's gonna definitely warn these new. Hey, Carolina, you know the whole shtick with the disguise thing. You mind doing a little get up just in case Mama comes through? She doesn't always check on the shop, but she does run things in the daytime when I'm not around. You know.
Carolina nods. And can she show her new protege how to do the thing yet, or is it too soon?
I'd say it's a little too soon.
Okay.
From what I understand, like brand new baby neonate vampire has been a vampire for about a year, and that's when you have like the at least 2 points in like a discipline, or 3 if you so choose to. So it's gonna take her some time to learn the abilities, but she does inherit at least 1 point of your disciplines. So
Yeah, so
we could say she has a point in obfuscate. That way she can stay still and be invisible that way.
yeah, that's probably what she's gonna do.
Okay.
And you know, call it a request here, but do you think you could possibly look they say Jewish?
And Carolina's gonna like kind of tilt her head like she's so confused by that request, and she's just gonna look down at herself, and she's just gonna be like, "What does a Jewish woman look like?"
Well, you know, maybe the schnoz is a little bit bigger.
Oh my god.
Maybe some curls in the hair. Yeah, maybe a little prim and properly dressed.
I already do that.
You're good with numbers. I don't know. You know, and maybe just reserved. With the
I
schnoz.
already do that.
Here, grab one of these bad boys, and he's gonna grab a yarmulke.
I didn't know women wear yarmulkes.
Do women wear yarmulkes?
I don't think they do.
Oh no! All right, hang on. Let's look. Hang on, let me go to Google Zoo. Where?
Oh, they do not.
They do
Okay.
not.
All right. All right. Here, grab this bad boy. I'll hand her a dreidel. Yeah, every now and then, just spin this puppy around.
And she's just gonna look at it and be like, "This is a child's toy."
Whoa! The yarmulke's for all ages. Okay, this thing's a blast. Look, you should see the spin I've got on this thing. I'll tell you, you can really burn the midnight oil playing with this thing.
She's just gonna like go into a stereotypical Jewish woman look, like
Oh.
damn near looking Middle Eastern.
All right, perfect. You mind making the schnoz a little bigger?
My god.
Me. I need to look it up.
I probably wouldn't look up stereotypical.
Oh my god!
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Okay, that's okay. That's fine.
I'm gonna put it in VC mutes. She probably looks like that.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Mama Finkelstein will eat this up. All right. We met at temple. You love me for who I am, and we'll probably have kids. That's all we gotta do.
And she's just gonna be like, okay.
How old is Gerald? Or how old was he when he died?
He was 30.
Okay.
So Carolina definitely looks younger than him. You know, she probably looks like 20 something,
Yeah.
like early 20s.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, what are you guys gonna do about Ethan and the new baby?
Well, he's got some since he's been turned
Well,
for a bit.
yeah, I think whenever the essentially the church comes to pick up the baby and whoever else, Ethan's gonna go with them.
Okay. It's probably gonna be the following night.
Hmm.
Okay.
So if not, if it would be too much, she'd probably get everybody a motel room
Okay.
and then just crash in the motel room, but then stay with Gerald.
Okay. All right.
So crash the kids in the motel room and then go with Gerald.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
And when you talk, give a couple hachs, you know? Don't be afraid to hach. Alright, I'm done. No more racism.
All right. So yeah, what does Finkelstein's look like? Is it like a
So-
humble little shop, or?
It's, yeah, I'd say it's... I think it's like his second one. So he probably had like one of those... You know, if you're driving down, like kind of like a less than favorable street, you see like kind of just a garage
Yeah.
and a shop. That was probably his first one. So this one I'd say has 2 floors to it.
Mhm.
Enough space for 3 cars to pull in. Some lifts, a bunch of tools. Fairly well organized. A lot of things hanging up on the walls. Some of the larger tools. An office that is on the first floor
Okay.
with like a little desk area. That's where his mother is stationed in the daytime while operations are going on.
Okay.
And then on the second floor is like the loft area where he's got some very dark lit rooms.
Mhm.
It is private. His own locks on it, so his mom can't get in. And that's like where he does his private stuff and where other business might be able to take place as well. Like his office for business, his sleeping quarters, and then like a little secret stash room for his little vampire stuff.
Okay. All right. Okay. Do you think Gerald's mom would be up past midnight, or?
No, no
Okay.
way.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Well, if she's waiting for her fucking son to come home, maybe.
That's true. Well, he's probably adjusted her to the fact that he has these late night stuff, you know, because he needs to go out at night, you know.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I assume she's adjusted to the lifestyle changes
Okay.
and that, you know, maybe her son's into some shit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say that she's probably used to you staying out really late. She's definitely in bed by now because she has to work in the morning and work on some cars.
Yeah.
All right, and so you get back to Finkelstein's. I'd say it's definitely past midnight, maybe like an hour or two left before dawn. So it's kind of cutting the wire a little too close, but you make it. And so you get, settled in for the night, show Carolina around, and I'd say that's good for the night. And so do you give Carolina her own room to stay, or do you both share a room?
I think he only has beds in the one room, so they wouldn't be in bed together, but she'd have her own bed in the sleeping quarters room.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Carolina definitely gets her own bed to sleep in, and everything's all light proof and everything, so you're good there.
Yes, for sure. Like,
All right. So, Carolina, when you go to sleep, most nights or usually it's a dreamless sleep. But this night is different. And it's almost like you're watching a movie. And you find yourself somewhere in a sunny countryside, walking with another woman. And it's almost like you're kind of riding along in somebody else's body. And the two of you stop in this kind of like very romantic kind of looking overlook, and there's like a picnic basket and everything. And when you talk, it's not your own voice talking, it's a man's voice, and he says, you know, I have something to say. I enlisted. I'm leaving next week, and the woman you're talking to is furious. She's angry. She's almost in tears. And it's a fight that goes on for a few minutes, and then suddenly it's like a jump cut, and you're on a plane, and it's loud, and there's this high riding tension as you're flying to some destination, dressed in clothing that you don't recognize, with people you don't recognize, armed with a rifle and heavy gear and a parachute. And then there's a loud buzzer, and everyone's lining up to jump off the plane one by one, and there's a fall before the parachute opens up, and there's shrapnel explosions and just a descent down to the earth below. And then another snap cut as you're woken up from sleep, but it's not you waking up, but this person. And this young man, probably not much older than 18, kind of shakes you awake, and he says, Cyrus, we gotta go, there's a fire. And you hear gunfire and the crackle of fire, and everybody make so Gerald, I want you to make a humanity roll. So that's a 60-10.
Okay.
And then Carolina, I want you to make a path roll. So that's going to be an 8d10, since you're pretty high on your path of redemption. So
Oh. I rolled terribly.
okay, so Gerald, you wake up to the sound of your mom screaming as your entire room is on fire. And you see Carolina kind of trying to, like, she's tossing and turning, but she's not waking up. And there is fire everywhere.
Holy shit. He's gonna scramble out of bed, rush up to Carolina thinking, how inflamed is the place? Like, is it, like, really going up?
It's really going up. And the more bestial side of you is starting to also act up. So make a self-control and courage roll for me. So that's going to be a 7d10. So 1, 2, 3. All right. So I'm gonna say you barely manage to kind of get a hold of yourself as you're gripped with a frenzy, because vampires hate fire.
Right.
And with
I
this
remember
much
that.
fire around you, you're on like the borderline edge of going into frenzy to try to escape. So what do you want to do?
So he's definitely a little frantic, but he's gonna rush over and start just shaking Carolina
Okay.
to try and wake her up.
Yeah, and Carolina, in your dream, you feel this person in your dream trying to shake you awake, and this young man saying, "Cyrus, wake up, wake the fuck up," and then you snap to, and then there's Gerald, and your body is almost like is sluggish as you're waking up basically too early, and the room is on fire. So go ahead and make that. Give me just 1 second. So yeah, so instinct and courage. So that's a 5d10. Boom. So you wake up, and you took longer to wake up, but you're definitely better composed than Gerald, as Gerald looks a little bit on the frantic side. And you can hear something crashing down in the next room over.
Well, first and foremost, Carolina is going to rush out of the room. She's gonna, get up, kind of stumble toward the door,
Mm-hmm.
rush out, and see what the fuck that crash was.
Okay.
Because, if Gerald cares about his mom,
Yeah,
obviously she's still here.
Yeah, that's where he's going next.
Okay. Alright, and yeah, so the crash was part of the shop caving in. As you leave the room and you see part of the ceiling has caved in, blocking you from going into basically the other side of Gerald's little apartment. So blocking you from going into his vampire stash room. But you can go down the stairs.
Yeah, he'll rush
And
downstairs.
where did we hear Gerald's mom screaming?
I'd say it's somewhere downstairs.
All right, yeah, they're gonna go toward the screaming.
Okay. All right, and yeah, and Gerald's mom is dressed up in nightgown, hair curlers in her hair. She's screaming, "Gerald, what is going on?"
But Ma, how did this start? What do you mean?
I don't know. I just got up to get a glass of water. Who is this?
This is Sandra Bullock. I mean, did Sandra Bullock wait? How old is
Hold on.
Sandra Bullock? Age 56. Yeah. All right, Sandra
So
Bullock. But she probably wasn't an actress at this
Oh
point.
no,
right?
she wasn't even born yet. She was born in 1987. This is 1977.
Oh, it says here she was born in 64.
Sandra. Am I looking at a different Sandra?
Sandra Annette Bullock is an American-German actress.
Yeah, so... Oh, 1964. Okay, yeah. Oh, never
Yeah,
mind.
so it's just a weird coincidence because I doubt she was an actress at 13.
Oh, she was an actress in 87. Okay.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, Sandra Bullock!
Who?
Wait, Ma, we don't have time for this. I met her at Temple, alright?
And Carolina's just gonna kind of push her way out. She wants out of this burning building.
And
Yeah, and then Gerald's mom is like, as she's kind of rushing out, like, oh, she sure doesn't run like she's Jewish. Jewish. Are you sure you met her at temple?
yeah, Ma, yeah, we were playing dreidel earlier.
Oh, so that's what they call it now.
Come on, Ma. You know I don't have sex before marriage.
Carolina looks disgusting.
Well, as long as she's Jewish, that's all I care about.
Of
And
course she's Jewish. Think I'd bring a non-Jew here?
And she's gonna think for a hot second, and she's just gonna say, I cannot pronounce Hebrew, but Im Yirtzeh Hashem, which is God willing.
Yeah, Moshe Hashem, yes.
and then Joe's mom is just like, well, that's good enough for me.
Well, shit, we gotta call the fire department, Ma. What the hell? Yeah, we're losing our business here.
Yeah, and then but yeah, and then you see fire engines start to pull up, and as you step out into the night air outside, you can see there's also a few other fires scattered around, burning in the city. And there's just sirens going off just all over the place as another fire engine rushes by. And it's probably maybe about half an hour before the sun starts to rise.
Jeez.
And
Would we have time to get to that motel?
maybe if you hurry.
And she's going to look at Gerald. I keep saying Gerald because I'm used to the German pronunciation. She's gonna look at Gerald. She's gonna look at Gerald's mom, and she's just gonna say, "I have to check on my family.
Right.
They're in the area. Gerald, we have to go."
Yeah, Ma, they'll give her some money out of his pocket. Just get somewhere safe. I gotta go check on her family because I taught him how to dreidel the other night, and I've grown fond of him.
And Carolina, she's going to kind of play the part, and she's just going to say, "No, just drop me off. Stay with your mom."
Right. Okay, but Gerald needs dark too.
I know. She's playing the part. She's acting right now.
Oh. Hashem, I won't leave you.
Alright, and Gerald's mom is just like, oh, you go. I'll take care of things here.
And she's gonna go up and hug Gerald's mom and just be like, "Thank you," and then be gone.
Okay.
Noom.
Yeah, we'll see if Sahara come on. All right, we're out of here.
Alright, and then you guys go into the Mazda and just zoom off. And when you get to the motel, that is also on fire. But
Oh no.
you see a van, this dark van, doors open, and you see Abraham and Ethan just fighting off these dressed up goons, and you see
Carolina's about to go fucking feral.
yeah, and
These are her kids.
and you see Carolina's new child also just taking a chomp out of them, Masquerade be damned. And it's just this kind of full-on fight as you see just a fire engine kind of start kind of turning around the corner, maybe just a few blocks down, just as you arrive. And Abraham, he still looks pretty roughed up. Like, he definitely has a limp going on, but he sees the fire engine and he immediately runs for this sewer grate and starts, pulling it open, while Ethan's holding off this other guy that's trying to shank him, and then just kind of forces the dagger up into this guy's chest, and then grabs it and just stabs him a few times as he goes down. And Abraham, sees you and Gerald and is like, "Sister, down here, quickly."
And she's gonna do that.
Yeah.
She's gonna do that, and she's going to grab her child, and she's gonna usher everyone down into the sewer.
Okay. And as the fire engine pulls up, there's another car that starts driving into the parking lot. And Ethan, Abraham make sure that you guys are the first ones to go down. And then Ethan manages to drop down just in time for this car to park up on top. And then you hear car doors open and then gunshots.
Oh fuck.
Is Abraham still up there?
Yeah, he is.
My baby boy! Carolina's gonna try and usher everyone, deeper down into the sewer. And she wants to hear that Abraham is okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
hear
Joe.
the gunshots, and then it's just silence from up top. Except for
And-
the car engine that's like right on top of that sewer hole.
She's just gonna be stunned.
What the fuck's going on? What is this?
And Carolina's gonna bring her finger up to her mouth and just say, shh. Desperately trying to hear any sound of Abraham up there.
Yeah, and your new child is spooked, and she's like on edge, like she looks like she's about to go into frenzy herself, as she's just like scanning the sewers for like the next thing to kill. And Ethan is trying to push you along, and he's saying, "Sister Ackner, you need to go."
She's gonna nod, and it's clear that she's completely just heartbroken. Like, she's just beside herself. And she's gonna cling to Ethan, she's gonna cling to her new child, and they're just, all of them are gonna walk down the sewer
Okay.
away from the sewer grate.
Okay. And Ethan is actually gonna try to stay in the back and kind of usher everybody along. And so he's gonna try to stay in the back, just in case anything happens to drop down to chase after you guys. and the sewers are just these long, winding tunnels, and there's once you get away from the sewer grate that you dropped in from, it's just the sounds of water dripping. You hear the occasional rats squeaking and scurrying by. You turn a corner and it's just more tunnel.
And it's
They're gonna find they're probably gonna go down for a while, and then find a little like alcove. Because these old sewers always have these like alcoves where they would have like machinery and stuff for like cleaning the sewers.
Yeah.
They probably find an alcove like that, and then just bunker down there.
Okay.
And Carolina's having a bad time.
yeah, Gerald settled himself down a little bit, but his mind's obviously racing. So it's got to be a hit back, right?
It has to be.
So I wonder how Zeta. They must have hit him. How did they know everywhere to go? They knew my place. They knew the motel. What else did they know?
I don't know.
And then your child speaks up and says and asks, "Who's they?"
And she's going to look at the new child, and she's going to say, "The Camarilla."
And then she kind of remembers what you've told her, basically. And she gives like a small nod.
And she's like holding Ethan, and she's holding the new child like kids to her fucking bosom. Like, no one is taking my children from me type of hold.
Seeing as there's no, obviously, phones down there, he can't make any calls, so Gerald is just kind of,
All they can do is wait.
yeah, hunker down.
Yeah.
And they still haven't really rested yet.
Oh yeah.
It's just barely daytime.
Yeah, just barely daytime, and you start to feel like the weight of the sun on your shoulders as even as you start to just feel kind of more like too exhausted to move, and just a little bit more sluggish. And Ethan is gonna make sure you guys are comfortable and stand watch.
As comfortable as we can
Oh,
be in
yeah.
a fucking sewer.
Yeah. Welcome to the Nosferatu life. Dab.
But yeah, so Carolina and her new child are going to be snuggled up together and just sleeping.
Alright. Oh, and then...
Sleeping, but make it sad.
Yeah, and then you guys manage to rest for the rest of the night. And come nighttime, there's still that tension in the air. As you start to rise back up again. And where do you guys want to go next?
Probably go somewhere where it's not like hell above them, and then emerge from the sewers.
Okay.
I'm gonna
And
run to
find
the
the phone.
bathroom real quick.
Okay.
Be right back.
Take 5.
Alright, I'm gonna go pause the recording real quick and go use the bathroom.
When you go upstairs, could you check the laundry?
Oh, sure. There we go, and we are back. Alright. So I lost my train of thought while I was in the bathroom. So we're still in the sewer?
Finding a place where it doesn't sound like hell is crashing down upon them, and then going up there.
Okay.
And trying to find a payphone.
Alright. But yeah, so it does take some time for you guys to emerge out of the sewers. It's the next night, so things have settled down a bit. And Ethan kind of relays that he did see some flashlights down in the sewer while everybody was resting, but nobody came their way. He doesn't think there's anybody looking for you guys anymore. But you guys emerge in a different part of town, and do you guys want to head back to Zeta? Do you want to go somewhere else?
Zeta's on his fucking own. Fuck him. Carolina wants to go back to her church.
Yeah?
So she wants to call up the church and see where they are, and then they can get a ride to somewhere safe.
Okay.
They need to get out of this fucking city. The job is done. They need to get out.
Alright.
Fuck Zeta. He's a bastard. He challenged her.
How's Gerald feeling?
Well, Zeta is Gerald's way to work his way up in the Sabbat, correct?
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
like Zeta is Gerald's way into the Sabbat.
All right. So yeah, he'll check back in with Zeta because he
Okay.
wants to see if there's anything Zeta might know or what the fuck's going on.
Okay. Alright. So do you guys split up or do you go together?
We gotta stick together.
Yeah. Okay. So which
So Go to the church first, or I don't know.
yeah, it's not gonna take long to find a payphone
Yeah.
and try to call in.
Yeah.
So I'd say they tell you somebody should be on their way soon. By now, probably a few more hours before the before they arrive. And where do you want them to pick you up?
She's gonna say because they're in LA, right?
Yeah.
Pick us up at the LA airport
Okay. All right.
and be there in 4 hours.
4 hours. Okay.
That's enough time to go check on Zeta and then leave.
Okay.
Fair?
That's
Fair.
fair.
Okay.
All right. And then so it doesn't take long to get back to the junkyard. I'm gonna say you guys probably pick up another car or steal another car and head over there. So when you get there, you see Zeta and the rest of his pack just out kind of regrouping, and Zeta's outside in this bathrobe and white briefs and just walking back and forth carrying a shotgun and just cursing and swearing like fuck, shit, fuck.
Zeta, what happened?
They fucked us while we were sleeping is what happened. They,
Camarilla.
yeah. Camarilla, Tremere, whoever the fuck.
How did they know? How did they know where my shop was? How did they know where the motel was? They knew everything.
I don't know, man.
Camarilla has eyes everywhere.
I don't know,
Well-
man. It's that hocus pocus shit.
So what do we do? How do we retaliate against this?
And Zeta looks like he's on the verge of going into a frenzy, and he's still pacing back and forth, and he's sweating blood, and then headlights start pulling up into the junkyard as this car pulls up, and you see 4 people exit the vehicle, and the driver is this black man that Zeta recognizes immediately. And Zeta points his shotgun at this guy as this man slowly approaches, very cautiously and very slowly, and he stops about 5 feet away. And Zeta keeps his gun on this guy and says, "What the fuck do you want, errand boy?" And the man says, "I want to know what you and your dogs have been up to." And then Zeta laughs, and he says, "You think we caused these fucking fires? I've lost some good liches tonight." "No," the man says. "I think you did something stupid that brought a Camarilla Archon into Los Angeles." And then Zeta looks at you guys, and he looks back at this man. And this man continues, and he says, "You didn't know. She's the one setting the fires, smoking you sons of bitches out of your holes." And Zeta lifts a hand to wipe some bloody sweat off of his forehead, and he's just like, no, fuck no. What makes more sense to me is that you anarch fucks finally got your limp dicks hard enough to come after us. And then he takes a step forward and points the shotgun at this guy's face.
Well, easy now, easy. We don't need any more enemies here, right, Zeta?
And Carolina is going to kind of gesture to keep her child and Ethan back. And she's going to say, "Be calm. Now is not the time for division. We may have our differences, but the Camarilla, we are united in a common enemy. We have to agree on this."
I could have sworn there was a persuasion skill somewhere in here.
There's manipulation.
Yeah. You know what?
Performance?
Let's make a. Alyssa, make a manipulation and empathy roll for me. Okay. Yeah, and when Zeta points the gun at this guy's face, all the other vampires start drawing their guns, and this guy sighs and looks at you, and his expression is, that of someone that wants their neighbor to keep their dog in check. And Zeta eventually takes a moment to settle down, though he's just taking a few deep breaths as he slowly pulls his shotgun back. He says, "Fine. Fine." And he says, "Well, what have they told you, Addicts?" And Addicts, the black guy that almost got his face blown off, he says, I lost 3 good men trying to negotiate with the Archon. Her name is Mother Knight, a gangrel and one of their best trackers. They told us that you took something from them, something of hers, and if she got it back, she's going to leave LA. Whatever it is, give it to us. We'll take it to her. And we can all pretend this didn't happen.
And Carolina's gonna look at Zeta, and she's gonna look back at the Anarch. Assuming you said these are Anarchs,
Yeah,
right?
these are Anarchs.
And she's gonna put up a hand, and she's going to say, "Did she say what was taken?" And she's not. And then she's kind of looking down, like she knows what it is, but she wants confirmation.
Yeah, and Addix is gonna say, no, she didn't say what was taken. And Zeta pipes up with his shotgun again. He's like, yeah, and she's not fucking, we're not gonna give it back.
And Carolina's gonna hold up her hand again, and she's gonna say, she's gonna ask, "Did you interrogate him yet? Or were you too busy getting your dick wet and your nose snuffed?" And this is one of the first times y'all have heard her cuss. But, you know, the irritation is there.
Okay, and you specifically said him, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Zeta, he's like you can see him just like stiffen up again, and like kind of puff up and say,
And she's not even gonna wait for him to respond. She's gonna see him puff up, and she's gonna say, "That's a no then, isn't it, Puppy?" She's gonna call him Puppy. How old is Zeta,
oh,
like, vampire-wise? You said like 20, 30 years?
He is. Let's see.
Because if she is older than him, she's gonna call him Puppy.
Okay, he was embraced in like the 1950s.
So yeah.
So he looks like he's in like his early 30s.
Oh yeah, so she's gonna call him Puppy.
And he has the shotgun aimed at Addix's head. And then he pulls the trigger, and Addix's head just disappears in just a spray of red mist.
What the f?
And then all hell breaks loose as just the Anarchs and Zeta's pack just go at each other, and Zeta screams at the top of his lungs and says, "We were gonna take them to Tijuana together, and we'd interrogate them there. That was the plan."
And she's just gonna grab him, like not like not like that.
Mhm.
She's gonna grab him with the nails going into his throat to hold him there. Because she's pissed. Like, the reason Abraham is fucking dead is because he didn't fucking do what he was supposed to in time. And so she's blaming him for essentially her son's death. And she's just gonna grab him, not to like overpower him, just to hold his attention. And she's just gonna say, "I want you to interrogate him now.
Okay. And
You just killed the lead. You just killed an Anarch." I'm assuming he was a leader of the Anarchs, some pack leader.
he was
Because,
Oh,
you know,
hold on,
if
I muted myself. Hold on. He was.
I feel like she would want to, stop him from murdering anybody else.
Yeah.
Because she was trying to be the peace broker here. Because they are united in one common enemy, which is the Camarilla.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'd say he's definitely one of the anarch leaders. You actually probably would have heard of him then.
Okay.
So his name was Crispus Attucks. He was a slave in the 18th century, and he was shot down leading a mob.
Could we rewind it a little bit? Because if she's kind of, so I'm assuming, okay, so you have guy here, guy here.
Yeah.
This guy's pointing the gun at this
Yeah.
guy. She's gonna be right here.
Okay.
And she's trying to maybe hold the gun, like, hold her hand up, tap the gun away,
Uh-huh.
and at the ground try to talk him out of it.
Oh, okay.
Because she knows how this guy is a fucking glass cannon.
Okay. So do you want to rewind a little bit then?
Rewind a
Okay.
little bit.
All right. I'm
Because
sorry.
I feel like she wouldn't have just watched that happen.
Yeah.
She would have seen it coming and tried to talk him out of it.
Okay. Yeah.
'Cause she did try to say, we are united under a common enemy right now.
Okay. Yeah. I admit that was
She,
a little
she did
railroady.
insult the fuck out of him, but at the same time.
Yeah. Let's take a few steps back then.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just I kind of realized after the fact that that was probably a little bit more forced than I meant it to be. So yeah. So yeah, Zeta is gonna say the plan was to take him to Tijuana and then they'd interrogate him there. I'm not giving him up.
And she says, I understand. But circumstances have changed, have they not?
And you can still see he's still on edge, and the Anarchs being there isn't helping.
And she's going to gesture to the Anarchs, and she's going to gesture to Zeta, and she's going to say, why don't we all go interrogate him together? We will all have the information. We will all be able to watch each other.
And Zeta says, no. That fucker knows Sabat intel. I'm not gonna let the Anarchs listen in on that shit.
And she's going to gesture to Atticus?
Yeah,
Attucks. And she's going to say, you despise the Camarilla and the rules they try to impose upon you, correct?
Yes, but I don't have time to wait for an interrogation. I'm taking him now.
And she holds up a finger and she says, I was part of the Catholic Church in my day. I know how to get information out of those who, let's say, won't give it willingly.
Okay. Make a make a. Let's go with. I could have sworn there was like a persuasion skill or something. I might be remembering wrong. Too much D&D.
Yep.
Let's.
Because I believe that she would be the oldest one there,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, she's the oldest one there. I don't know. Manipulation and empathy, I guess. So 7d10.
Would that be a cult
Um,
instead? instead of empathy? Because that's, asking to torture someone, that's not really empathy.
Yeah, but you're also trying to, like, kind of,
Take control, so would that be leadership then?
I was thinking more of, like, like, oh, we're standing together against a common enemy, you know.
True. So 70-10.
Yeah, 70-10. Dab, that is 6 successes. Alright. Okay. And Addix is going to say, fine, but we're not leaving without him, whoever he is.
And she says, I understand. We will go with you. That way we make sure that all of us, and she's going to look at both Zeta and the Anarchs, are on the same page.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
And Addix nods.
It prevents a war between... They would be clans, right? Packs?
It's,
Groups?
I'd say groups, yeah. Sects.
It would prevent a war between our groups at a time like this.
Okay. Yeah, and Addix is gonna nod and say fine, and Zeta is going to begrudgingly lower his shotgun.
And, she's gonna take both of the men on the shoulders and just say, thank you.
Alright.
And she's gonna turn to Zeta and say, please, lead us to your bunker.
Okay. And Zeta's gonna lead you and Gerald to the bunker, and the Anarchs are gonna, probably out of respect, are gonna stay outside.
Keep watching.
Yeah, keep watch.
It's basically the leaders.
Yeah, along with the rest of Zeta's pack as well.
Yeah, so the packs are gonna stay outside. Gerald, Zeta, I forgot my own character's name for a second. Carolina. So they're gonna go inside. I'm assuming Ethan and I need to come up with a name for the little baby.
Oh yeah.
Are gonna stay outside as well.
Yeah. Okay. And you guys descend down into the room where Sawyer is being held, and Zeta just kind of gives a big grin and says, good job convincing them over to our side. Can't wait to see the look on their faces when we bash their fucking skulls in.
And Carolina's gonna just do the little, like, she's gonna pinch her two fingers together and be like, no! The zzz. Like, that's absolutely out of the question.
Yeah. And Zeta's gonna look over to Gerald. And
See, now I'm infecting you with my pronunciation.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm so sorry.
And Zeta's gonna say, hey man, imagine the kind of cred we would get for taking down an Archon.
I mean, listen, Bob, we gotta worry about the Camarilla here, no? They burned down my fucking shop. I mean, maybe we take down the Camarilla and then we talk about the Anarchs, right? I mean, let's take one step at a time. Let's take down the Camarilla, use these clowns, and then when the Camarilla's taken care of, then we go to the Anarchs.
And Zeta's like, Think of it, though. Do you know how...
I mean, what good is cred if we're dead? We gotta think long game here. I'm trying to build a name for myself in this place, but that means nothing if we get cooked.
After the shit that you two have been through, think of what the rest of the Sabbat would think if the three of us took down an Archon. Come on, man, we'd be legends.
And he's referring to the Camarilla Archon, correct?
Yes, the Camarilla Archon.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, oh, I thought he was talking about the Anarchs.
I thought it. Yeah, I
Oh,
thought I was
well,
talking about the
kind of.
Anarchs as well. I was like, wait a second.
Kind of both, but Zeta's thinking, oh, if I take down the Archon, think of the glory that will get me.
And the Archon is the
Oh.
Anarch guy.
The Archon is the Camarilla,
the Mother Knight.
yeah, the Mother Knight that tracked down your havens and set them on fire.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, Gerald wants to get all the Camarillas, too, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought he was trying to, like, persuade him to killing the guys that are with them now.
Well, Zeta kind of wants to do that too, but the Archon is kind of what he's thinking of at the moment.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm down to kill this Archon. I mean, she's clearly after us. So yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man.
If he's talking about taking down the Camarilla Archon, because I thought he was talking about taking down the fucking Anarchs right here, right now. I was like, no. I just barely brokered this peace.
Yeah,
But you know, she's gonna say, yeah, she killed my son, because her ghouls are her kids.
yeah. And Zeta's just like, how about...
But we need the Anarch help. So for now, we focus on the interrogation.
No,
We bring
think of
him.
it. Think about it. We use your ghoul as a decoy. Send the Anarchs off with him. Make them think he's Sawyer. And then that buys us time. One-way trip to Tijuana. No problems.
And what of the Anarchs? And my boy.
They'll die. It's a ghoul.
It's not just any ghoul. And she's gonna leave it at that. She's just like straight faced, like dead ass. Like, I cannot believe you just like even made that idea vocalized.
And I mean, not for nothing, Zeta. I mean, these sound like big ideas that maybe we're gonna reference some other Sabbats. No, I mean,
Who's the bishop here? I am. I'm the one in charge here. I make the calls. I don't need to talk to anybody else.
And Carolina's going to look at him and just say, you may be the bishop, but I don't have to follow you.
Oh, he's not gonna like that.
She has her own group.
Yeah.
She's here helping him. You know, she's got her own sect
Mhm.
elsewhere. You know, she's got a couple dozen people at least. It's a whole fucking, like, monastery.
Yeah, and Zeta's...
And she's just gonna explain it in a way it's leader to leader. Like, we are trying to help you,
Yeah.
but you're running in full fucking, you know, guns blazing, quite literally guns blazing.
Yeah.
And we can't do it like that.
Yeah, and Zeta's not gonna have any of that, and he's just gonna snap and just be like, I'm tired of your holier-than-thou bullshit, bitch. And he's gonna look over at Gerald, and he's gonna say, you know what? You hear her? She's denying us our glory. She's turning tail and running instead of facing the Camarilla head on, like a true
And
Sabbat would.
Carolina's just gonna scoff. And she's going to say, I'm trying to keep us all alive so you can enjoy your glory, you overgrown pimple.
hey, let's all take some breaths, okay? It's getting a little crazy in here, you know. We're this and that. Listen, we got some things to settle here. Well, let's not forget the big enemy, okay? Let's not forget the big dog we're trying to take down, and let's figure out the best way of doing it with keeping our own heads, okay?
Thank you. First and foremost, we interrogate the prisoner, and not wet our dicks in the process. and she's going to put her hands together and smile at Zeta.
Okay. Yeah, and he's fuming, and he walks over to Sawyer, who has been staked this whole time, and he yanks the stake out, and then he aims his shotgun and blows the guy's head off. Not head off, no, leg off. Leg off. Leg. Not head, leg.
I was about to be like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, and then Sawyer just starts screaming in pain, and Zeta just gestures at Sawyer with his shotgun and says, "Well, start interrogating." As I crack open a can.
Yeah, as he drinks a Coca-Cola.
Thanks. I have long nails, so I can't open up cans of pop. So I have Thomas open them for me.
Okay.
But Carolina, she's going to grit her teeth because that's not how you torture. You don't put all of the pain right away. You ease into it, and he already fucking severed this guy's fucking fingers off. You know, this is already skipping several steps of torture. And she's going to approach, she's going to kind of wave the other guys off, like, fuck off, let the professional do her fucking job. And I'm assuming there's, like, a chair down there.
Yeah, there's a few chairs.
She's going to take a chair and sit down, and she's just going to say, you need to talk or the pain will get worse.
Okay.
Tell us everything.
And give me just 1 second, cause let's see. Ba, ba, ba. Yeah, and when he stops screaming, he takes a few shaky breaths because he's in a lot of pain, and to the question, he basically lists off like his basically like military serial number, and he answers Adeptus David Petrie, House Trismegistus, Bonnie Tremere, child of Catherine Alborn, child of Rodolfo the Illuminated, child of Harold the Wise, child of Melinda, child of Tremere.
And she's kind of expecting other people to be writing this down, assuming that everyone else can see. And she's gonna stand up. She's gonna pull her knife out, and she's going to say, I want to know more.
Okay. And what are you going to do?
Just circle him.
Okay. And he's gonna kind of clench.
It's what she's trying to do is ride that fear of more pain.
Okay. And he's gonna keep repeating what he said, basically going through his name, his house, his clan, and then his lineage. And he's just kind of talking through clenched teeth as he's trying to just reveal nothing.
Is there a whip? She's gonna flog him.
Yeah, there's a
Is
lot
there
of...
like torture instruments down here?
Yeah, there is.
She's gonna flog him.
Okay.
I didn't know if there were torture instruments, but that's why I had her draw her
I'd
knife.
say just expect the full arsenal of tools.
Yeah, so she's gonna flog him. Grab a whip and start whipping him.
Okay.
Assuming he's like hanging from the ceiling, so his back is in plain view.
Okay. Alright.
And she's just gonna keep going until he starts saying something else.
Okay. And it's probably takes a few probably takes a few minutes before he starts skipping over a few words, being a little inconsistent with his list of lineage, and then he just starts to crack a little bit, and he says, "The Blue Devils," and Zeta kind of snaps his fingers and he says, "That's the pack he was with."
She's gonna pause and she's going to say, and she's gonna kind of lean around so that he can see her, and she's gonna cup his face again, and she's just gonna say, "Keep talking and there will be no more pain."
Okay. And he says, "The Blue Devils, they were found out by my clan outside of Las Vegas. The regent told the prince that he was going to destroy the pack, but instead we brain fart. We wiped their memories, and I was able to and convince them that they had the memory of me being welcomed into the pack." And Zeta speaks up. "I want to know how the fucker resisted the Valdry." Valdry is their kind of mutual blood bonding ritual that
Yeah.
all packs do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
And Carolina's going to look back and say, and ask, "Answer the man's question, love." That soft, smooth, gentle, motherly voice.
okay. And he is he's going to grit his teeth and just brace himself for the pain, and he's gonna say, there's a blood ritual that strengthened my resistance to the blood bond.
And Carolina's gonna gesture at Sawyer and look back at Zeta like, "Haha, I got this information and you didn't." Like, are you satisfied with this information? So that sort of look.
And Zeta does not look satisfied, and he's just glaring at Sawyer, or maybe he's just glaring at you, and he looks like something doesn't sit right with him. He says, I don't think so. That was too easy. You think he'd really give it up that easy?"
And Carolina, she's gonna round Sawyer again. She's gonna cup his face and like look at him head on, and she's like, "You know you're going to die here, aren't you? I can at least make it painless if you tell us the truth."
And you see him just kind of just swallow empty air, and he says, "I'm not looking to die here. I want to get out."
Don't we all? It's a good mindset to have. The aspect of survival.
And he kind of tries to kind of squirm, but the meat hooks keep him in place.
Mm-hmm.
And Zeta cocks the shotgun again and says, "How about I just blow off his other fucking leg?"
And Carolina, she's going to hold her hand out and be like, no, this is not how you do it. And, well, she didn't say that, but, you know, that's kind of the gesture. You know, the hand palm out, stop.
Yeah.
It is time to stop. Because with torture, you have to be patient. And she says, how about I offer you a deal? Tell us the truth of everything. And so she's gonna lie here.
Okay.
She's gonna lie. And she says, if you tell us the truth, I will make you reborn as a member of the Sabbat, free to do as you please with no prince to look over you. She's gonna cup his face again in that soft, soothing voice, and she's gonna say, doesn't that sound nice?
And he kind of shivers at your touch. And he kind of just sighs and he says it's an amulet. A magical amulet that turns ingested vitae inert. That's how I resisted the bond, the blood bond.
And where is this amulet, love?
It's in my stomach. And Zeta pipes up like, let's cut the fucker open.
Jesus Christ, Zeta! And the hand on his face is gonna kind of like go down to rest on his stomach, where he's, you know, obviously been like beat the fuck up, so her
Yeah.
touch is really gentle. And she's gonna say, and what was your purpose? What was your mission?
To get intel on the Sabbat, to find their weaknesses.
And why? Is Mother Night looking for something?
And he laughs a little bit and he says, Mother Night wasn't involved in our plans at all. She's here to hunt you down. And she's on her way right now.
Well, she seems awfully interested in getting you back. But I think I know why she wants you back. And the answer, and she's gonna kind of gently poke his stomach, kind of just a tap. She's gonna say the answer. It's right in here, correct? I'm going to assume that this is the only one she has.
Yeah, she's not in the pyramid at all. She's a gangrel. She doesn't know about the amulet.
So she doesn't. So what interest does she have in you? Why would she be willing to cause a war such as this? And break the Masquerade that your Camarilla loves so much?
If anyone's broken the Masquerade, it's you. It's all of you. And then there's a loud bang at the top of the bunker as somebody's knocking really hard on it.
And, Carolina's going to look at the men in the room and she's going to say, go. I will finish this.
Yeah, so Gerald will make his way toward Bang.
Yeah, and you see, when you open up the door, it's Addicts, and he says, "Hey, are you done? We have a situation here."
Oh, we're getting there. You know, just ironing out the finer print, Will. But what's going on?
Look, if you are going to hand this guy over, you need to do it now, because she's almost here.
Oh, Mother Night.
Yes.
Right.
I'm assuming everybody left
Um.
at her demand.
Oh no,
Or-
everybody's still there.
Okay, just Gerald left.
Well, Gerald is there, and then Zeta's with Gerald.
Okay,
Gerald.
so
Sorry. Yeah, Zeta's with Gerald, and when Addix says that, Zeta says, "Yeah, we're not handing him over, you fuck."
and at that point, she's going to Carolina. She's going to just reach in to this guy's stomach with her long fucking claw nails, her Nosferatu claw nails, and she's just gonna pull out the amulet.
All right. And but yeah, he's gonna scream the entire time,
Yep.
just painful, agonizing screaming, and then you pull out this amulet. It's kind of like, I want to say it's dark like a obsidian, and it's definitely made out of some kind of meteorite, and it's kind of encased in kind of like a gold casing, and it just fits in the palm of your hand.
Pocket.
Okay.
Actually, she's gonna put it on.
Okay.
She's gonna take it out of his stomach. She's gonna wipe it off on his clothes. She's going to put it on and then tuck it under her shirt.
Okay.
That way it's secure.
All right.
And then she's going to cup his face again and she's going to say, "I'm so sorry, love." And she's going to swipe her hand across to heal the wound, because she can do that.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's gonna kind of touch where she can see that he's got boo-boos.
Oh yeah.
And kind of, keep her end of the deal in easing the pain a bit.
Okay.
As like a reward for giving them information.
Okay. Yeah. And as you're doing that, he's just kind of muttering through heavy breaths, just let me go, please.
And she's gonna stop as he's begging, and she's gonna say, "I will only let you go if you've told us everything."
And he's just gonna nod immediately and say, I told you everything. And Addix kind of shouts from the top of the stairs again, "She's almost here, we need to go."
And she's gonna patch up all the rest of his wounds. She's going to stake him again, pull him down, carry him up.
Okay.
And when she gets up there, she's gonna gesture to everybody and just say, "Stand back. I interrogated him. I will give him back. I will prevent this war.
Okay. And
If I die, then it's on you, good bishop." She's gonna smile. That toothy, ugly smile.
okay.
Just know that I was the one that tried to prevent a war in your name.
And Zeta just kind of,
Since you're so power hungry.
yeah, he just grits his teeth, and you see him just kind of clench his fist, and his knuckles are like just a solid white. And yeah, Addix steps back, and Gerald, what are you gonna do?
I mean, he's all for turning this dude over because he doesn't want a war either. He just wants. He wants the Camarilla at the end of the day. He wants this job to be done, Camarilla taken care of, and establish himself.
Okay.
And so she's gonna wait for kind of everybody to stand aside and take their little. I'm assuming kind of everybody's setting up for a fucking bloodbath at this point.
Oh yeah.
Like, and she's just gonna stand in the center of the driveway, kind of, "Here I am.
Okay. And
Here's your prize."
so, everybody, both Anarchs and Sabat, they've kind of formed a perimeter around the junkyard, or at least around where the bonfire was, which I assume is around where you're standing. And everybody's just on edge, guns at the ready. Zeta's people have hatchets and machetes, and the Anarchs have the guns and some knives and stuff. And Addix is just shaking his head like this is gonna go bad. I can feel it. And Zeta is just he is restlessly pacing around, just shotgun in hand. He's ready for a fight. Gerald, what are you doing?
I'd say he's carefully staying off to the side, waiting to hopefully make sure nothing blows up, but he'll be ready to scuff if it does happen.
Okay. Yeah, and the night kind of just even the crickets stop chirping as there's just this dead silence just filling the air. And this unnatural fog starts to creep in, and as it starts to thicken, and then suddenly there is this woman in front of Carolina, and her skin is just so dark that it's almost blends in with the night. And her eyes kind of glow this kind of yellowish color, and she stands probably not even 10 feet away, and she just stares Carolina down.
Carolina isn't moving. She doesn't even have her mask of 1,000 faces on. She's just looking butt ugly. She's just vibing.
Yeah,
And she's just like bridal carrying this, limp vampire.
yeah,
And she asks, I take it you're here for this?
and Mother Night, she's actually dressed up in these kind of like disco style clothes, like
Disco Queen.
yeah, Disco Queen, and the white of her outfit just contrasts with just the dark of her skin, and she regards you for a moment, and she gives a slow nod, and kind of some distance behind her, you do see a set of headlights coming up kind of from the hills beyond the junkyard, as there's this van that's kind of slowly making its way up into the junkyard.
And
Carolina, she's going to look down at Sawyer. She's going to look back at Mother Night, and she's going to say, permit me to ask one question, though, if I may, before I give you your prize.
And Mother Night says, one question.
Why do you care about him so much? There must be a reason.
And she extends a hand to kind of motion for you to hand him over, and she says, because he has information.
He has what?
Because he is a spy, and he has information on your sect, on the Sabbat.
Interesting. He told us many things about you as well. I don't think he's as loyal as you think he is. And she's gonna look down at him and say, he was raring to join us. We had to stake him. We heard that you were coming. We didn't want him to hurt you. We didn't want a war between our sects.
And
We didn't want you to think that we corrupted him. He said something about an amulet that prevented him from being loyal, but I don't think it took.
and she laughs. And she laughs, and everybody, all the other kindred around you, the Anarchs, the Sabbat, they look like they're on edge. They're freaked out, and you can see,
She's a cult leader. She's used to doing this performative shit.
yeah, and Zeta, Zeta looks like he's just like barely holding himself back. And Mother Night, she pauses for a moment and she says, I don't know anything about an amulet.
And I don't know anything about it either. I was hoping that maybe you could give me some answers. He was ranting and raving. I'm not even sure where it is. Because she healed up
Oh yeah,
the wound, so she has no idea.
yeah, and
And this guy's already covered in blood, so God knows what the fuck he went through. So
yeah, and the van that was coming up into the junkyard, it kind of slowly snakes its way in, and then it stops, and the headlights shine on the two of you, and then a man steps out of the van, and it's a man with a scar down the side of his face. And Mother Night,
and Carolina didn't. She was in Under the Mask of a Thousand Faces at the time, so he has no idea what she looks like.
oh yeah,
Woo! Anyway, continue.
yeah, and Mother Night looks over at the man with the scar down his face, and she says, Mr. Galt, what do you make of this? And Mr. Galt, dressed up prim and proper, he has like the composure of someone who is just dealing with riffraff, with lesser people. And he says, he takes a look around and he says, it looks to me like the Anarchs and the Sabbat have jeopardized the Masquerade. And Attic speaks up and he says, hey, no, that's not. And Mr. Galt interrupts him and says, it looks like the Camarill's next move is clear. And he looks over to you, Carolina, and he says, if you would please hand him over.
I do have one question, though. A question that I just have to have answered. If I may ask.
And he goes ahead.
Would you permit me one question?
And he nods and he says, of course.
And she's carrying him, and she kind of just bows her head a little bit, kind of in respect, because, it's the etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna ask the same question, and ask about, why do you want him?
Okay. And
What is the big deal with this guy?
okay. Yeah, and Mr. Galt, he says,
Like, she's playing stupid at this point.
Right.
Like, she's, poised but stupid.
and Mother Knight kind of glances over at Mr. Galt, and he says, well, because he is perhaps the most successful and first spy to successfully infiltrate the Sabbat. He is a very valuable agent of the Camarilla, not only the Camarilla, but of my clan.
And she nods, and she's gonna repeat the same thing that she told Mother Knight and say, I don't think he's as loyal as you think he is. We had to stake him because he was just raring to join us, but we heard that you were coming, and we didn't want a war.
Do you mention the amulet at all?
She's gonna mention, he brought up something about an amulet, but she's gonna... What amulet? I'm just a Nosferatu. I don't know.
Yeah, and Mr. Galt is gonna nod and say, well, my dear,
If you give me this information, I will give you your man.
well, my dear, I believe you're bluffing, because my clan, we have a strict hierarchy. All child are bonded to their sires and their superiors. I call you bluff.
You do?
Yes.
And she's gonna think for a long moment. And she's going to call Ethan over.
Okay.
Kind of turn to gesture Ethan to come over.
Ethan is as white as a ghost. As white as a sheet, and he slowly steps forward, and he looks like he wants to run.
And she's going to introduce Ethan as a proper mom would. This is Ethan. He is one of my helpers.
A rare thing, a ghoul in the Sabbat.
Yes, he's a very good boy. He's one of my favorite.
And Mr. Galt nods.
And she's going to look at Mr. Galt and say, you too have ghouls. You have helpers.
Yes, we do.
And are they treated well?
I'd say they are treated well.
And she's going to... She's actually going to take a seat, and she's going to gesture for everyone else to sit down right there in the dirt. And she's going to say, tell me about him. Tell me about this boy here. She's going to kind of cradle Sawyer in her lap, where he's staked and unconscious and unmoving.
Okay. Yeah,
she is holding all the cards, and she's doing her best to drag this out.
right. And,
So that somebody is going to make a move
okay,
that she's going to catch.
okay. And Mr. Galt, he is actually... Well, he's not going to sit down, and Mother Knight isn't going to sit down, and... Everyone else is like too on edge. They're like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck are you doing? Gerald, are you going to sit down?
Yeah, Gerald will take a seat.
Okay. So it's like only Gerald takes a seat. And Mr. Galt, he says, well, before I tell you about him, may I have a better look at him?
Of course. And she's gonna kind of, still having him seated in her lap, gonna kind of prop him up a bit.
Okay.
And just kind of, here he is.
Alright, yeah. And Mr. Gold is gonna kind of look over to Mother Night and say, if you could. And Mother Night kind of picks him up and kind of lays him down on the ground. And Mr. Galt kind of takes his foot. He takes his foot and he starts kind of pressing down on his stomach with the tip of his foot, almost as if he's feeling around for something. And he is going to pull a knife out from the inside of his jacket and offer it to Mother Night and say, if you would do the honors, please cut him open across the stomach. And she starts to do so. And of course, being in torpor and stakes, Sawyer can't do anything about it. But you do see him start to like kind of twitch a little bit. And Mother Night slices him open. And Mr. Galt kind of nods and says, go ahead and reach inside. And the Archon does so. And feels around and shakes her head. And she stands up and Mr. Galt gives a nod and says, just as I thought.
Carolina's gonna tilt her head. Whatever do you mean?
And Mr. Galt takes off his glove and he snaps his fingers and he says, this is what I mean. And Carolina, you are about to feel the worst pain you could possibly imagine. As, like, you're sitting down, right? You lean forward and start vomiting blood. All of your blood.
Oh.
And each mouthful of blood you cough up, you feel yourself growing weaker and weaker. And when that happens, all hell starts to break loose. And the headlights turn off, and Mother Night's eyes are visible for a moment, Gerald, before they disappear. And then vampires start screaming. Gerald, what would you like to do?
So Caroline is bleeding. And what did Mother Night do? She like disappeared?
She's basically, the headlights turned off, and she's basically killing people in the dark.
He's gonna activate protein so he can see in the dark.
Okay. And you see her just moving like a blur as Mr. Galt calmly and slowly goes back into the van. And you see Ethan on the ground, kind of clutching his throat as he's gasping for breath. He's clutching his throat and his hand is covered in blood. And you see Catalina also just coughing up blood as she's just vomiting it all out. And it's just a messy, massive puddle. And the Anarchs are freaking out, trying to get out of there. The Sabbat are trying to take swings as Mother Night just dashes from one person to the next. And you can hear Sabat, you can hear Zeta just screaming and laughing, like, "Come at me, bitch, I'm gonna take you down."
Well, I mean, Gerald is no doctor. He doesn't know too much about why Carolina is vomiting blood, so he can't really help much in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna try and make a move for Mr. Galt.
Okay. And let's see. Give me just one moment. Alright, let me just look something up really quick. Give me a hot minute. Alright, and let's see. Let me just look something up really quick. Give me just a moment. Let's see. Alright. And let's see. I just have to look up what one of his powers does for just a moment.
Okay.
Alright, so... Okay, couldn't find it in the book, but I did find it online. So, as you charge towards him, he turns, calm as ever, just fully composed. And you suddenly stop in your tracks. And you're now floating in midair.
The fuck? Hey, what's the big idea? What's going on?
And Mr. Galt kind of dusts off his sleeve and he says, "The end of your little fun here in this city." And then you're flying backwards and you hit the trailer with a hard thud. And in the dark, you see even more vampires have been taken down by Mother Night, as she's basically just tearing them to shreds. And Zeta fires off a few blasts of his shotgun before even he too is taken down. And he's just you watch as his arm is just torn off and then he's just beaten to death with it. And
oh, shit.
And you see Carolina still just coughing up and vomiting blood in this slow, agonizing display. And Mr. Galt kind of pauses for a moment, and you you can see him in the dark, and you assume he sees you because he's looking straight at you. And he raises his voice over the, the last dying screams of the Canaanites around you. And he says, I am going to allow you to live. Not as an act of mercy, but to send a message. Because of your actions, because of the Sabbat's actions, the Camarilla will be visiting Los Angeles. Your days are numbered. And he gets... Oh.
Go ahead.
Do you want to say something back to him?
You want to put it in writing? My memory isn't the greatest. What was that again?
And Mr. Galt speaks up again and he says, well, you better work on your memory, because I do not like repeating myself. And then he gets in the van. And Mother Night, she walks through the middle of the junkyard, kind of over and over to where Carolina is just coughing up blood. And it's another moment or two before you see her finally stop moving, and you watch as Carolina's body just starts to wither away as 500 years of decay finally catch up to her. And Mother Night picks up the amulet and looks at you and gives you a smile before she basically disintegrates into fog and disappears, and you're left by yourself.
And I assume he gets dropped from being...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you get dropped.
So he's gonna, like, wave the air around him, try to figure out what the fuck was holding him up, but, rush over to Carolina, check on her, kind of see if she's fucking kicking or what.
Oh, Carolina is not kicking. She, like...
I can't believe my girl is dead!
Oh, when you come up close, she's basically mummified, and when you touch her, she just breaks into ash.
What the what in the... And I'll check on Ethan.
Ethan is dead.
The girl with the glasses, is she around? No. Is that him? Has she come back from her pilgrimage? No. He's gonna rush for a payphone.
Okay.
And he's gonna call his boy, Matthias.
Okay. Yeah, and it rings once or twice, and then you hear that familiar voice on the line, and... Hey, it's Matthias.
Matthias, oh, Jesus Christ. You know, I gotta stop calling you like this. I get it, but, man, what the fuck? You ever hear of Mr. Galt? Or, Mother Night?
Oh, yeah, I don't know Mr. Galt, but I've heard of Mother Night. She's one of the Camarilla Archons, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a lot of that, man. I just saw her fucking turn into a mist of fog after carving out 12 vampires. This shit's nuts. I lost my partner. My partner's dead. Some amulet that fucking prevents these blood packs. I don't know what the hell's going on. She's wearing it, and she starts coughing up blood. Mr. Galt sent me literally flying in the air and told me to send a message that Camarilla coming because of our actions here.
Holy shit. Gerald, are you good, man?
I'm as good as it could be watching about 15 people. The bishop's fucking fried. He got beat to death with his own arm. That was fucked up. I mean, What a way to go. What the fuck? We got 10 introductees running around town trying to prove themselves because we hit them all with shovels and buried them.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man, but yeah, I heard about those shovel heads. Yeah, Mother Night got all of them. At least I think she did. She tracked them all down. I think that's whatever happened with those fires last night. I think that was her.
So, who do I report to? Who do I tell? My only contact was Zeta. He's fried.
Yeah, man. We gotta get you to the Archbishop, man.
Holy shit.
Like, where are you? Are you at Zeta's place?
Yeah, I'm at Zeta's. It's a
All right.
fucking mess over here.
Look, you wait there, hide somewhere safe. Or, you wait there. We'll come pick you up. We'll head to Tijuana together.
All right. I owe a cat some tuna anyway from earlier, but holy fuck. I'll see you later, man.
Yeah, see you later. And then Matthias hangs up, and yeah, it's about maybe 30-40 minutes before Matthias comes by with his pack, his gang of gangrel, and they pick you up, and his pack's pack priest pulls out like this silver chalice basically, and they all donate a bit of blood into the cup, and they hand you the cup, and they expect you to do the same thing.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, yeah, so you do it. They all share a drink, and Matthias just says it's just a precaution, man, and he's gonna ask you about what happened again, and
I'll go into all the details.
yeah, and he says, okay, we gotta get you to Tijuana, because this is big. I don't know what's gonna happen from here, but it's gonna turn into an all-out war.
Holy fuck. Well, I mean, I lost my fucking shop anyway. Not like I got much holding me here at the moment. Let's ship out.
All right, and then and then Matthias is gonna basically, and what they're gonna do is they're basically gonna welcome you into the Sabbat as their newest pack member, and take you to Tijuana.
Hell yeah, Gerald made it. He only had to lose fucking 14 vampires in the process.
All right, and then that's the adventure. That's the game.
That was awesome.
Wow, I can't believe my girl died.
Right?
She was doing her best.
She was doing really well, but the Tremere had an ace up their sleeve.
Yeah, they're fucking hocus pocus, as Zeta would put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good, Thomas. Well done. I had
But yeah,
a lot of fun.
that's good. I'm glad you guys had fun. But yeah, I don't know if I was kind of expecting to do like a follow-up game after this like adventure was over. I'd have to prepare everything, but I was like ready to do like a sequel game where like you guys would be leading the charge against the Camarilla and everything, but I like how things turned out.
Yeah.
So, I think this is good as its own thing for now, and then maybe sometime in the future we might do some kind of like follow up sequel, whether
Yeah,
it's as the Camarilla or maybe the Anarchs.
cool.
Well, I think that'd be a cool thing, yeah. Or maybe just the Sabbat again. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean maybe Gerald could jump ships. I love playing as Finkelstein.
Oh yeah.
But I can always. It would be fun to roll a new character like with a different type anyway,
Mm-hmm.
just to learn a different set of move sets and everything
Oh
too.
yeah. Well,
But that was a lot of fun.
oh yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of fun too. So Joe, just in case we do continue this, you get 10 experience points.
Okay.
Because I forgot to give you guys some XP last time, and because you did some really great roleplay. And rip to Lissa, but Carolina is dead.
Yep. So the amulet, was that what killed her because she was wearing it?
Yes. So it was basically it allowed Sawyer to resist any the blood bonding that the Sabbat does to make sure that people are loyal,
Yep.
and it also acted as like a cyanide pill.
Oh
But
jeez.
she didn't eat it.
Well, it's um well, Mr. Galt was able to activate it
Mm.
because Hocus.
So she couldn't have even taken it off.
I mean, she could have, but when he activated it, it was already too late.
Mm.
I really wanted to get that Mr. Gult guy. He pissed me off. But- He's too strong.
He's OP, please nerf.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like let's see. Yeah, he had like level 4 in 2 disciplines, level 5 in his magic, and
Oh wow.
then he had like all kinds of different powers too. So he had some big guns. And
I think another world, Mother Knight and Gerald could have been friends.
in another world at another time maybe.
Yeah.
But like kind of like Catalina, she was also an elder vampire too, I think.
Nice.
Let's see if it's
Carolina and her whole family got wrecked. Abraham, Ethan,
Yep. Her new baby.
a new baby, everybody.
Everybody.
Mama Finkelstein's still kicking.
Mama Finkelstein can't be killed.
Mama Finkelstein is unstoppable.
Yeah. She's the real arch villain.
The real BBEG.
Yeah.